All right. Welcome to ABL Live. My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Thank you for joining me tonight, and thank you for watching the restream if you're doing that as well. I will be on camera in just a few seconds or a few minutes, whatever it is. Whenever this little 2-minute song is done, I'll be on camera. Thank y'all for joining me. Most certainly appreciate you. Come one, come all. Get you something nice and cold to drink, good to eat. We're going to be here for a while. Taking phone calls, talking about quite a few issues, all that good stuff tonight. First things first, creepy Joe Biden. A Democrat assemblywoman in Nevada, a Latina woman, says, hey, this guy sniffed my hair, kissed me on my head. I didn't want that. It was inappropriate, and it was right during an event. What's going on with that? Can we get some investigation? I'm sure there was cameras rolling. I'm sure there were pictures taken. I'm sure there could be some kind of follow-up to this, but the mainstream media is totally silent about it. I wonder why. I wonder why they would try to silence a thing like this. Why would they try to keep that under wraps? Why wouldn't they want us to know that? What's the reason why the media is not really covering that whole situation? I mean, think about it. If it were a guy like Brett Kavanaugh, would they cover it? If there was a possibility that there could be some evidence, obviously they would, because they cover things about him when there's no evidence. Also, the Green New Deal has been getting wrecked all throughout the Senate, all throughout the lamestream media, the hate stream media, all that good stuff. Brings a lot of joy to my heart personally. And Trump has cut aid to 3 Central American countries, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Honduras. Why? Because of the caravans, most likely, but that is my cue to go ahead and go live on camera. Thank y'all for joining me. I definitely appreciate y'all. If you don't know me, my name is Anthony Brian Logan, ABL. Thank y'all for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the video if you're not subscribed already. It does a tremendous help to me. I thank you for that. Oh, Pencil Neck. Shout out to Pencil Neck, Adam Schiff. You know, Trump is a wild president. He has new shirts, and the shirts say Pencil Neck, Adam Schiff on it. It has Adam Schiff's head on top of a pencil neck. It might even have like a clown nose on it. So it's wild, but hey, that's Trump. He's a different kind of person, and I like the fact that he's a different guy. That's a big reason why I voted for the guy to begin with. But thank y'all for joining. I most certainly appreciate you. Let me just get this out to a few people on my social media platforms, and we'll be ready to rock. Share the video for me, please. It helps out tremendously. Keep them likes coming. All that stuff helps the video get to more viewers, get to more subscribers, all that good stuff. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. It helps out a whole lot. Let me see. Let me get this out to a few people. Let's get that out on my Twitter, and let's get it out on my Facebook page. And if you're not subscribed to my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those accounts are in either the box or on my website, anthonyblogan.com. This hat is available right below you, possibly. Well, it should be right below you in the video, like a little carousel of items. Just slide on over. You'll see the hat right there. Thank you, Chuck, my ad. I appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, that was a great experience being on Crosstalk with RT. Great experience, absolutely. And I got to upgrade my in-home studio. You know, these guys got lapel mics and boom mics and good lighting. It's good in here for what I do, but when I get on TV, it needs to be a little bit different. So I'll get that updated. But just to be able to talk to those guys was very good. And hopefully I get to do more. Well, I will be able to do more. I speak to RT pretty much every week at this point, so I'll definitely be doing much more. So thank y'all for watching that RT crosstalk video. You'll definitely see me in more. And maybe even different networks. You know, I'm waiting on them to call me. All they got to do is reach out to me. We can arrange something that way. I've not been on Fox yet, but that'll be any day now. Or that could be at any time, because a lot of my friends, people that I know personally, have been on Fox. I can name probably about 10 people I know personally that have been on Fox and that have gone consistently more than once. So shout out to everybody that's been there. But TV is cool, but I like what I do here. This is really where I want to be. Like I told y'all before, I got offered a mainstream media position as a commentator on a panel. Like, they got these talking heads that come on panels all the time with a particular host. I was invited to go audition to be on one of those, but I'll pass. Especially since the media outlet was a liberal one, and I don't want to be on any liberal media. And I know what they like to do. They like to just have you on there to beat you up, kind of like how Paris Denard was on CNN. I don't want to give away too much by saying CNN, but y'all kind of get where I'm going. So I like what I do here. But RT is a great network, great people. I like being part of what they got going on. Just from, the occasional contributor, not like I'm on the contract. But let me get this out to my Facebook people. All right. And thank y'all for joining. I see everybody flooding in the chat. I see T-Pain in there. Laying down the rules. I listen to T-Pain. T-Pain is the boss over here. You listen to her. What she says goes. All right. Let's get that out on Facebook. All right. Shout out to Shreves, Side Knot Junkie, Barrington, I see you, Sarah Stewart, Newsmax. Well, I don't want to work anywhere, like any kind of news station. If I was to go work for a news station, it'd have to be a crazy deal, like something I couldn't refuse. I prefer to do what I'm doing now. I've always been an independent person. I prefer, like, if I was to do any kind of spots, like I want to just do spots on TV here and there occasionally so I can just have a broader reach just to get more people in. But I don't want to necessarily go over there and be like, okay, I work for X, Y, and Z news station. I don't want to do that. That's not really the way to go. Some people that it works for them, but I don't want to do that. Have I ever considered interviewing Amazing Lucas? Oh, well, yeah, sure. I mean, I know Lucas. I can call him. We can do an interview. I've not done very many interviews where I've reached out to people to actually interview them. I've actually never reached out to anybody to do an interview. It's always people reach out to me and they say, and they request, hey, can we come on? Can you interview X, Y, and Z person? And that's usually how that goes. But I wouldn't be against it, but it's just not a normal thing that I do. But yeah, I reached out to my man Lucas. I can call him right now and we can get that arranged. Lucas been banned from Twitter before. He got banned again. That's crazy. And you know what? Thank you, Murray. But I don't know why people get banned on Twitter. I've not been banned from any social media network site ever. The only time I had anything close to a ban was when I had a stream ban on here. But I wasn't banned from the actual network. They just restricted my ability to stream. I could still post videos. I could still interact as normal. I just couldn't stream on this particular channel. But I could stream on the backup channel with no problems. So I don't know what's going on with that. I've never been in Facebook jail before. I don't know what that looks like. I never had a Twitter ban or suspension or anything like that. So, and I said some provocative things occasionally, but one thing about me is that I'm very clean. I don't curse. I don't know why people get banned or what on these social media platforms, but apparently I'm not really doing it. And the only reason why I got the stream ban over here is because somebody snitched on me because I made a video they didn't like. So it was a manual thing. It wasn't even like YouTube decided to attack me. No, it was a person that didn't like what I said. Let me see. Like a Luciano, ABL, he says ABL and Red Elephant. And we can do that. I like Red Elephant in the debate he did with Destiny about guns, gun control. That was very well done. I did not watch the entire thing. But what I saw from him was very impressive because he had this binder with a bunch of facts in it. So anytime a particular thing got brought up in the debate, where it needed to be kind of fact checked or a source should have been provided, he was able to dig through his binder and be like, look at this. And then Destiny was trying to like fumble through his phone. It's like, don't even really try. Don't try to match him at that point. Just try to debate what he has on that sheet of paper. You see what I'm saying? But don't try to like fumble through your phone and find some random article to back you up, because he's already prepared. He was very prepared for the debate, and he was very well able to articulate himself in a debate. So I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, Adam Schiff gotta go. Pencil neck, little neck, little neck. Adam Schiff gotta go ahead and go over yonder for sure. Shout out to Matt Street coming from upstate New York. Thank you. Shreebs, I see you. Tommy Quinn, Lucky Luciano, Elizabeth Hauser. Oh, thank you. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I like doing what I'm doing. I'm going to add more to what I'm doing and just continue to build. Just introduce new features, new things all the time. Just continuously improve upon my content. Just, always find new ways to improve. Always find new ways to get better. Like when I first started, I was doing voice notes on my old BlackBerry and uploading them to my Mac. I had back in the day. I don't have that no more. I got Windows PC, obviously 2 monitors, but that's a different story. I had the Mac back then. I was just uploading voice notes with slides. Then I got my microphone and my camera, and I started doing some on-camera stuff. And then I got a better setting. I moved. I got my flags. I got just, I started to just piece things together, got better lighting, and it just kind of made sense. And I'm still not done. I'm going to keep on evolving. Shout out to Inner Beauty TV by Nicole Michelle. Shout out to you. All righty. I see you in the building. Jonestown Autopsy, thank you for joining. Billy Owen from Indiana. Ben, I ain't going to say the last name. This is a family show from Hickson. Shout out to Hickson. Big up to you. I was in Hickson today. I went to the post office over there, right there off of 153. I was over there. That's where my P.O. box is. I don't live in Hickson, but that's where the P.O. box is. Shout out to SOBC, who says, I'm going to send you an email about a suggestion for an interview. This person will blow your mind. Her story is crazy. She went to school with the Clinton's daughter. Uh-oh. All right. That's a good one right there. We got to see what's happening with that. Thank you, Luciano. Appreciate that. So how do y'all feel about Creepy Joe and the allegation? Shout out to Gerald or Jarrell. I don't want to say your name wrong, boss. Shout out to you from Brooklyn. Carthaginian in Dallas. Hey, there's a Blexit rally in Dallas on the 28th. Hold on. Let me get it right. The Blexit rally is, I think, on the 28th of April. And that's on a Sunday. The last weekend in April on a Sunday. Now, I might be able to go, but I don't know. It's a lot going on that particular weekend. It's like a trillion things going on. But it all depends on how I'm able to maneuver myself. But either way it goes, if I'm not able to be there, a lot of my friends will be there in Dallas, Texas on April 28th for another Blexit rally. So y'all be sure to be there. Go to Candace Owens' Instagram page. There should be a link on her page at this point. Pardon me. But yeah, that's going to be happening April 28th. I'm not sure about the venue, but it will be in Dallas. Extinction Ritual says Creepy Joe gets a little bit too touchy-feely. I agree. Way too much. I mean, hair sniffing. The dude's a creep. And it's not even like this is a rumor, because the thing about a guy like Brett Kavanaugh, it was all just speculation, rumor, random people coming out the woodwork talking about he did this, he did that with no evidence. But we got pictures, recent pictures and videotape of Joe Biden doing the whole hair sniffing and just touching on the shoulders, just too much stuff. He did it to, I forget who that was. It was somebody's wife. Somebody let me know in the comments below. That one picture of him sniffing the lady's hair with her husband right there at the podium. I don't know who that was or who her husband is, but he did it right in front of everybody. Okay? It was crazy. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. But it was wild. It wasn't even like he was behind closed doors or anything. Yeah, Joe Biden is a cold pervert. Like, Joe Biden is the definition for creepy old man. And if he is going to run for president, he's got to like Ash Carter. Thank you, Side Night Junkie. Ash Carter. Ash Carter was right there at the podium talking. I'm not sure about what. His wife was right there, and Joe Biden was there. And Joe Biden is behind her, sniffing her hair and massaging her shoulders. It's like, what are you doing? Her husband is right here. That's not your wife, sir. And it ain't no sister wife sharing thing going on. You just being creepy. And then she had kind of a weird. She was uncomfortable. You could tell she was uncomfortable. He's inappropriate. And this is going to be your king. This is going to be the guy that's leading the polls. How is this creep leading the polls? I don't understand. And then on top of that, he's a white male. And I already done told y'all, it's not going to be another white male Democratic president. So if they want to lose, they're doing a great job at it. I say keep on going. Matter of fact, how about this? Go ahead and run Creepy Joe. Run Uncle Herbert, Creepy Joe, Pervert Joe. Go ahead and run him. He would get wrecked instantly. The memes be out of this world. Oh my goodness, the memes. The memes. Can you imagine? All the memes, the collages, the videos, the pictures, the paint. It's a mural of Creepy Joe being creepy, like to some anime. So I mean, there's so much material on him, and the racist comments from back in the day talking about he was against school, he was against busing, talking about why does a black child I got to be in school with my white child hand in hand. That's not. It's so much against Joe. I don't even know how he got to be in Barack Obama's White House. I mean, the dude is a nut. He's worse. He's way worse than anybody that has announced they're going to run. You know, Bernie, what you going to talk about? Just how he makes no sense. He's an old Santa Claus. I mean, you can talk about that, but I never heard about Bernie doing any kind of sexual harassment or anything. Not like Creepy Joe, or any kind of racism like Creepy Joe. So it's gonna be something. I wanna see him run. That's what I want to see. So who do you think is going to be the contender on the Democratic side? Is it going to be Creepy Joe? Is it going to be Helicopter Bernie? Is it going to be, no pun intended, but pun intended, is it going to be Booty Gig? I know I'm talking about the gay mayor or whatever he is. Is it going to be him? Is it going to be Kamala Harris, Cory Booker? Who's going to be the candidate? Whoever it is, they're not going to win. But I'm just curious to see who's going to be the candidate so I know what memes are going to be available. I need to prepare myself for the meme onslaught. So I want to know who's going to run. Bernie and Beto, Robert Francis O'Rourke. How you going to call yourself Beto when your name is Robert Francis? Like, your name is, like, you're Irish, sir. Why are you calling yourself Beto? That's like me calling myself Beto. I'm not Hispanic, obviously. Why am I calling myself Beto? For what? I don't get it. Kamala Harris and Matt Maxine. Oh, that'd be beautiful. That'd be beautiful. 100%. Kamala and Stacey. No, Stacey said she did want to be second place. Stacey M1 Abrams tank. She said she wants to be first place. She ain't trying to be no second fiddle, no Robin to a Batman. She wants to be in first place in the buffet line. Now, I mean, for real, first place in line to be the president, not to be vice president. So she has no chance because she doesn't want to play second fiddle. And there's no way that she's going to be able to actually succeed as the candidate. At a certain point, you got to be appealing to look at. Now, I'm not saying Trump is Mr. Beautiful, but at the same time, Trump was a celebrity already. So that helped him out a lot. If he was a regular dude off the street, I'm not really sure. His braggadociousness was able to get him off the top. And then also his prior celebrity. People know who he is. He's Donald Trump. He's a household name. Versus Stacey M1 Abrams. Who is that? It's a nobody. And she's not appealing to look at. The other presidents who came out of nowhere were kind of appealing to look at to many people, like Slick Willie, Barack Obama, even George W. But Stacey Abrams, no. Kamala Harris would be better. Maybe even Pocahontas. Pocahontas looks better than M1 Abrams. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not trying to say that Pocahontas is a fashion model, but just visually, she's less disturbing than Stacey Abrams. Even Michelle Obama would be better looking than Stacey M1 Abrams. But like I said, I'm not talking about Miss America contest, and I'm not trying to be vain. Like, don't take it like I'm trying to say that you have to be pretty and all this and that. I don't care. I'm just talking about the general public, people, how to look at you. If they don't know who you are, you're a nobody, they're not going to be thinking about you in a serious way if you don't present well. That's all. That's all that it is to it. And it's real. It's 100% real. You know, now when they speak, obviously, they're not going to say things that make any sense to us. But to them, No, see, I'm trying to give them some advice. But you know what? How about that? How about I don't get no advice? I don't say things that make any sense. I'll just tell them, run wherever you want to run. Run Stacey Abrams and then have, I don't know, Pocahontas be the vice president. How about that? Run that and see what you do. See if you can win any state with that. Go ahead. Matter of fact, do that. Do that, and then I'll support you 100% from the outside looking in. I'll say, yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to vote for you, obviously, but I'll support your decision to do that. So just go ahead. Beast Mode, Mom, you're correct. Democrats can't run a white man anymore. They can't, because their whole campaign has been no white men. White men are trash. White men are the devil. White men are this. White men are that. They can't run a white man anymore. If they do run a white man, it won't be successful because they're not going to be able to get the traction that they want. It just ain't going to work out. And thank you to Karen Warren for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Nathan Shield, who says all those ladies should have had pepper spray. Talking about to ward off Creepy Joe, need some bear spray. 100. Mike from Bensonhurst says if Jesse didn't get caught, he was going to be propped up by Democrats and speaking at rallies, talking about him being a survivor of Trump's America. 100% correct. That was the goal. That was the goal, to become a martyr, to become a household name, you know, based upon being the victim. And then also that would go to his whole goal of being against Trump. You know, I go hard on 45. So you want to be somebody that became a victim of a 45 follower. And then you want to paint anybody with a MAGA hat on, any white person that's some kind of racist or whatever. And he also may have sparked a kind of a race war in Chicago, because then it would have been on site for anybody that's white, regardless of whether they were a Trump supporter or not. Because that's how a lot of guys in Chicago think. A lot of the hood people, that's how they think. They're not really three-dimensional thinkers. They're going to think white person in Chicago, I got to beat them up just because. So it could have got very ugly. That's why he should have been locked up, because of the severity of the potential consequences of what he did. You can't have that just be okay to do, because you may have a next guy that comes out and does that and may do it in a little bit more sophisticated way. If they're believed and you have some kind of riots that happen as a result, and then later it's found out that it was false after all the damage has been done, you can't have that. To see, people might want to risk doing something like that if they think that the damage won't be that much on their back. They can cause damage, they can wreak havoc, but they don't want any kind of real consequence to come their way. You see what I'm saying? That's why you need to have some kind of punishment to prevent it from happening in the first place. But thank you to Shonda Henley, who says, you're amazing, ABL. Thank you for spreading the truth in this crazy world. MAGA, God bless you. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Definitely appreciate you. Daniel Davis says, Trump needs to stop his base from getting banned from the internet. We are a big part of the reason he won the first time. Love your show, ABL, MAGA. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate it. I'm not sure what Trump can do, honestly, because you're talking about private companies. What can you really do? You don't want to go down the road of trying to really intervene like that too much, as long as they're not violating your civil rights. I don't know how that really works, though. That's going to be kind of a tricky one to kind of unwrap there. Thank you to Miss Presley for the donation. Thank you to Omar Adams, who says, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here. 100%, boss. Thank you for that. Chuck on my ass says, you were great on RT. Crack at Zucker was epic. And thank you to G Card Jolly for your donation. Also, who else we got? Oh, Daniel Davis says, maybe the DNC should run a black Hebrew Israelite. That's right. That's right. Cry, white boy. You know what? The funny part is that you're not even that far off, because let's not forget that Keith Ellison, I'm not sure if he's still in office, but he was on the Democratic side. He was in the Nation of Islam in 1994. Oh, it's evidence of him being in the nation. He already admitted it. Farrakhan said it himself on stage, on camera recently, because Keith Ellison tried to denounce Farrakhan after all the anti-Semitic stuff that was happening with him for a period of time in the media. Keith Ellison denounced Louis Farrakhan, and then Farrakhan was like, that's okay. That's our brother. We know he was in the nation in 1994, but it's okay. Like, he was on TV or on camera saying that, and I saw him. So, yeah, You're not too far off there, Daniel Davis. And thank you to Carthaginian who says, never underestimate evil. I'm right there with you, boss. Thank you for that. Hey, I appreciate that. Hold on. I lost it. Thank you to Boulder's Book, Jim Gates. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. So yeah, Keith Ellison was in the Nation of Islam. There's a lot of guys that are in the Nation. Yeah. Keith Ellison was in the Nation handing out final calls. Now, if you ever been to some of these urban inner city areas and you see a guy like on an intersection, like on the median with a suit on, it doesn't matter if it's hot, cold, whatever, who have a suit on, maybe the red bow tie, maybe not. They don't always do that. But definitely a suit with a red bow tie, that's Nation of Islam. And they'll have papers in their hand, newspapers. That is a final call. They'll probably give it to you while you're in the car. They'll give you the paper, and they'll probably ask for donations. They'll give you the paper for free, but they say donate whatever you want. And you can also buy incense and oils from them sometimes. Keith Ellison was doing that in 1994. So it's pretty interesting how that works. Thank you to Quinn Smith for the donation who says truth to power, 100%. Or the custard pie. Yes, the bean pie. That's correct. During 1804. The bean pies, yes. They'll sell you the bean pies, the final calls, the incense, the oils, whatever. They may talk to you if you roll down your window at the intersection. Peace, brother, all that good stuff. That was Keith Ellison in 1994. So you're not too far off when you're talking about the black Hebrew Israelites. They're kind of all in the same vein. The Hebrew Israelites are more of a, how can I say, kind of a savage type group, but the Nation is more organized. There are guys in the Nation who you would never know they're in the Nation. You know, regular everyday Joes that you see every day, they're in the Nation of Islam. You would never know. I know some guys in the Nation, so I know how they kind of blend in. New Possibilities. New Possibilities is just, he's his own person. I'm not really a fan. But New Possibilities, without really saying too much, is a person that just kind of believes in most of what the left believes in. Not really anything different than what I hear all the time. You know, so shout out to him, though. Shout out New Possibilities. He has his own channel. He does whatever he wants to do, but most of what I hear from him is what I hear from everybody else on the left. Member of Antifa as well, Shonda. I wouldn't be surprised. That's like the next thing that you have after the Nation. You got Antifa. I'll be taking calls in about a few minutes. Give me about 5 to 10 minutes. I just want to talk for a little bit and get everybody in here. We got 337 live in the building. Please, everybody, give me a thumbs up. If you're just now joining, give me a thumbs up. Thank you to Rosie Reed from Texas. I appreciate you. Man says, Hebrew Israelites dressed like Aladdin. That is hilarious. Fantastic. Now, Judge Janine, I think she's come back today, if I'm not mistaken, or she was scheduled to come back today. I don't know if she did or not because she had a family emergency she had to tend to. It may have been last night, but she should be back today. So shout out to Judge Janine. She shouldn't have been removed at all. And thank you to that. Thank you for that, Stephen Kemp. This hat is available in the box. And thank you to again, Ken Jones, who says, I just want this race nonsense to die. Back in the 90s, this stuff did not matter. Keep up the good work. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. And you know what the genesis of all the new race tension is? It's the school system, K through 12 and college. That's where it comes from. You got these teachers who are guilty, and they're telling their kids, the kids in the classroom, I ain't talking about their actual biological kids. They're telling the kids in the classroom all these racially charged things. And you got the media in on it as well, because a lot of the people that came in that are in the media have come from K through 12. So they come from K through 12, college, and get into the media. And then they kind of like change the work environment that produces the media. So prime example, ESPN is a great example because they have been infiltrated by this. Back in the day, during the Stuart Scott, the first Keith Olbermann, before he became crazy and went into a basement and became Stalker Keith, before he was a crazy Keith we know of today, when he was a regular Keith, ESPN was beautiful. It wasn't all this politics and anti-conservative, anti-Trump, and pro-LGBTQIA. That wasn't going on back then. It was all about sports. It was an easy program to watch. It wasn't too much extra stuff in there. It was more conservative, like everybody else. But as the time progressed, you have younger people coming in, not even just the on-air talent. I'm talking about those that work behind the scenes, the staff, the writers, all of that. They have changed. And they're coming from the leftist indoctrination camps, aka K through 12 in college. When they come into a place, they institute new rules. They demand certain things. Oh, I need a safe space because I'm black, because I'm Hispanic, because I'm LGBTQIA, ABCDEFG. So you have these little pockets of people that are in these groups within the organization. You got your black group, you got your gay group, you got your Hispanic group, you got your Asian group, you got your trans X, Y, and Z group. And they all want their particular interests to be pushed to the forefront in the programming. So you're going to have a company that reflects the staff. And you see that all throughout media. That's what happens. That's why race is so much popular nowadays and such a dividing topic, because it's pushed in K through 12 and the media. So regular normally out there just sitting on the hind parts watching TV is being constantly beaten in the head with all this racial stuff over and over and over again. And then the cell phone, it makes it even easier because it can transmit those messages not only on television and radio, but then to the palm of your hand 24 hours a day. You see how that works? That's kind of how we've gotten to where we are today. Yeah, Max Kellerman. Yeah, Max Kellerman, another one. They all kind of have gone down that road, but that wasn't like that back in the day. Like in the early 2000s, it was not like that. It got like that, I would say, under Obama. That's when it really kind of shifted. That's when it started to shift, right at that particular moment. And here we are today trying to reverse the trend. That's why we went to Trump rather than trying to go back to a guy like Obama, because we realized we went too far. Okay. Even a lot of those that voted for Obama realized we went too far. A lot of the people that voted for Obama switched to Trump this time for similar reasons. They wasn't hoping change back then with Obama, but they got too much change. So they're going back for some more normalcy and common sense that they did not get under one Barack Obama. That's just kind of how that operates. So that's just what that is. Thank you to everybody that's in here so far. Please give me a thumbs up on the video if you have not done so already. And share the video as well. It helps out tremendously. Now, let me go ahead and get the phones, get the call started. Daryl, I have no idea where Ruth Bader Ginsburg is. She could be anywhere in the world. I think at this point, she may be a hologram sometimes. When you see her out in public, which I've not seen her, she may not actually be there. She could be a hologram. I don't know. Just like Tupac on stage back in the day, that was just a hologram. That wasn't even a real person. So I don't know what's going on. Thank you to conservative B1 Trump supporter. I appreciate you. But let me get to the calls. Let me go ahead and just turn my desktop audio off so y'all don't hear the boom, 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 boom. So y'all don't hear that, because that kind of goes on my nerves too. Let's see if Skype wants to start up. That'd be fantastic. Okay, now let's get this straight here. Speakers. Okay, perfect. Oh, Blexit, yes, NPC, SJW. There will be a Blexit rally in Dallas, Texas on April 28th. That's the last week in April. That's a Sunday. So April 28th. And if you go to Candace Owens' Instagram page or her Twitter page, there should be a link for it available now. If it's not, wait a little bit. It'll be there. It's only like $3 to get in. It's not really a lot. We're just trying to keep the trolls to a minimum. And we don't quite know the venue yet, but we do know it's going to be in Dallas. And after Dallas, there'll be another one coming up in Chicago and then DC. All right, Jordan, what's happening?
Nothing much, ABL. What about you?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
That's good. Hey, did you hear Jussie Smollett is contemplating suing Chicago?
I heard about that. I heard that he made his teammate decided to sue the Chicago police or whatever. But he's at this point he's kind of like high stepping, feeling real good about himself. But he needs to just relax. He should just go away for a little while, stay low under the radar, wait till it blows over. Because just like Ralph North, remember him, the blackface governor.
Mm-hmm.
Things have kind of died down. He's back to normal now. It's not really a big outrage about him. He's still in office. He didn't step down, so he should do the same thing. Wait till everything dies down, blows over. Don't be trying to say, "Oh, I'm gonna sue." Nah, that ain't the right way to go. That's just being silly.
No, that's actually pretty obnoxious because uh the whole sad thing about this is it's clear that he lied. Like if you saw him at the conference, he was like, "I've been consistent," and yada yada yada. And then his lawyer comes up and she's asked if those two Nigerians actually did it, and then she's like, "Well, they said they did it, so that they did it pretty much."
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you were being consistent and not lying the entire time, then why was it this whole story about MAGA hats and white guys and all this, that, and the third? I mean, you can't say, your lawyer can't say that it was the Nigerian guys and then have you at the same time saying you were being honest when you were talking about white guys and MAGA hats. Come on.
Yeah, and they were trying to just recently. His lawyer was trying to convince everybody that those black Nigerians might be in whiteface, which is why he probably said it was all they were white. And then you see that picture, and you're just like, that those eyes in the ski mask are the only things that they make it hard to paint white, you know. And he also said, she also said that, what did she say? Oh, she also said that, he wanted to just, let this all slide. He doesn't care what happens to the Nigerian kids. When in the Good Morning America interview, he was like, and Matt Christensen did a great video on this, if you want to check him out. But he basically said in the Good Morning America video that, the fact that these people are out here doing this stuff is insane. And now that the killers, the people who beat him up have been caught, he's just like, nah, I don't care what happens to them,
Yeah, it's really crazy, but liars do stuff like that. They don't really. He's just kind of a despicable person, really, and people on Empire don't really like him. It's kind of a divided set.
Well, it's weird because did you see the tweet Empire made about him?
Yeah, that was Empire writers talking about, see you in a minute. That was just some idiot doing that. I mean, that was, these writers, sometimes the people behind the scenes, they can have a shooter anonymity because you don't know who they are. That could have been anybody in the world. It's not like Taraji P. Henson would say something like that because she's a public figure. But
yeah,
behind the scenes guys can say whatever they want. But that was just a dumb thing to say because Quiet as It's Kept, they had their lowest ratings ever this most recent episode.
Yep.
Because people are boycotting. They're like, look, man, this guy has to go right now.
Yeah, he has put a big little smear on your show. You might want to get rid of him.
Yes.
But the saddest part about all this, and before I move on to the next topic, is that this guy wasted time, money, resources, and manpower that the CPD used to try and find these people, and now he's pretty much backstabbing them, there are some crime. Chicago is like the crime capital. Look at the statistics for Chicago murders this year. The vast majority of murders have still not been solved. Resources could be used for that, but they've been used for 2 months on this idiot who decided to fake a hate crime. And is this what black celebrity liberals do? When Trump was talking about Chicago's violence back in 2017, Common and Ebru from Hot 97 were like, shut up about Chicago, let us handle it. Well, is this how you handle it?
Right. Do we do this? Just not solve things, come up with fake hate crimes? I mean,
make it worse.
Make the whole situation worse, and then drawing more heat on you. You get the president getting involved with the FBI and the DOJ to investigate the corruption, and the corruption is off the chain. I mean, Kim Foxx, And I would think even Rahm Emanuel and the
Yeah.
police superintendent, I think everybody's in on it, really, personally.
Yeah, even though Rahm Emanuel, well, if there's one thing I agree with him on, it's that this whole thing is ridiculous. But for him to tell Trump to screw off and not get involved in this, if your house was in order, he wouldn't have had to get involved in this whatsoever. So that's something that Emanuel has to recognize before criticizing Trump, because Trump is actually doing something good by pointing all this out. But yeah, and on top of that, Jussie Smollett winning, being nominated for an NAACP Image Award. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, he already lost. He actually has lost that award already. He lost to somebody else that you
Well,
may
that's
know.
yeah. Oh, I don't keep up with them that much, but the fact that he was even nominated is
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. It was funny who he lost to though. He lost to Jesse Williams, the other biracial activist. It's like, okay, we got two biracial activists. One has gotten in trouble with the law. He's kind of messed up now. He's kind of like persona non grata. The other one, he's still pretty good in our eyes. No legal troubles. We'll give it to him.
Well, to be fair, Jesse has issues with his relationships and stuff. And
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right. But you know,
Yeah.
we can forgive that. It's like, okay, let's weigh it on the scale. Which one is worse? You know, you left your wife for like 13 years and got with a new hot young girl, or you come out with a fake hate crime, almost got locked up with 16 felonies. New wife, young girl, hate crime. New wife, young girl wins.
Yeah, but yeah, it's all unfortunate, man. Um, all these Democratic nominees coming. You know, Jay Inslee,
I saw him. Yeah, that's the he was like a governor,
Washington governor.
Washington State. Yeah.
This dude thinks, okay, this guy's main concern is climate change. So I mean, he wants to do something about that. To basically do the same thing that Ocasio-Cortez is doing when it comes to renewable energy. And you know, that's been said and done already on this live show. But he thinks he can win because Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton were small governors, and he thinks he could use that as leadway for winning.
No.
But I mean, he has to realize in this day and age, identity politics exceeds all.
It's all that matters. I mean, you're a white male, a straight white male coming into the race, and it's a crowded race on top of that. Like, you have no chance. But he doesn't quite understand the things that he's talking about are going to be totally against him. He's fighting against his own self, just like Joe Biden talking about it's a white man's culture and we got to change it. Well,
white men are the minority and it's good, or
yeah,
white people are the minority and it's good.
it's like,
Something
sir,
like that.
you're a white male, so what are you going to do about that? How are you going to resolve that problem? You got kind of a elephant in the room here. You're not really the correct identity, so how are you going to get beyond that?
Yeah, pretty much that. But yeah, the whole Joe Biden allegations. It is weird because he is kind of like a creep, and you can't even. Well, you could make the argument that he's just overstepping his boundaries unknowingly and stuff, sort of like Vic Mignogna and his situation. But it's just weird because it was all a meme. People were passing pictures of him being a creep back then and didn't think nothing of it, and then these assault allegations happen. It kind of makes me think that since Joe Biden is leading in the polls as being the likely candidate, even though he's like old and all that stuff, people want to use the fact that he's a white male to just take him down and bring Kamala Harris up because she's a black woman. Something tells me that it's going to be treated like Herman Cain, where Herman Cain would have been like a front runner for the Republican Party, and he's black, but then these sexual assault allegations happen, and or harassment allegations happen, and then he's forced to step down. Something tells me that's going to happen, regardless of whether Biden is actually a creep or not. This all seems pretty weird and pretty coincidental in my eyes.
Well, Biden has been a well-known creep. This ain't nothing new. I mean, it's been going on for quite a long time as far as any kind of, allegations against him. I mean, there's all kind of videos online. There's all kind of, pictures online of him touching women inappropriately, hair sniffing, little girls too. I mean, the dude is a creep and is well-known. But when you try to become the president, your creepiness gets put on a bigger level. when you're the vice president, you really don't have any kind of responsibilities like that. I mean, you do as far as government is concerned, but not to the public, just everyday general person. You're not going to be the one pushing the button, making a decision. But once you start to come into that seat as the top dog, the king, the leader, then all your indiscretions are going to come to the light. That's usually how that goes. Just like with Brett Kavanaugh. With Brett Kavanaugh, nobody ever said anything about him. If you did hear anything about him, it was on the low. But then once he wants to come to the Supreme Court, all of a sudden some things happen. But with Joe, it wasn't anything new. It was old stuff that's coming out now. It's going to get more attention.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's interesting to see that these liberal men, and the same thing goes with like Justin Fairfax, these liberal men were doing things that were, even though they might be considered creepy, were relatively fine to do. Nobody had that much of a problem with it. They just said it and just left it alone. Back in like the 70s, the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you're in a position of power, or you're going into a position of power or influence, and then they get brought up and backstab you. I think these liberal guys have to realize this.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to, because they're not safe from this Me Too stuff. You being on the side of women, you believe survivors, all that nonsense. That will backstab you if you end up becoming, a victim of the Me Too movement. So that has to be recognized. But I feel like what's going to happen is with all these Democratic candidates for the presidency, because you got a ton of them, and we can include Herman Schultz as an independent if you want, but it's a ton of them. And there's going to be a lot of division within the Democratic Party. And then people are going to vote for other people, even though one person ends up being the Democratic nominee, because their policies are vastly different. Like, you got this huge climate change guy, you got this huge reparations woman, you got this huge welfare or huge socialist person, so on and so forth. And it's just going to cause the Democratic Party to fracture. Like, the Republican Party only have one definite Republican running for president, and that's Donald Trump. I haven't seen any nominations of people running for the Republican Party ticket to replace Trump. I haven't seen that yet. But I feel like it's going to be, before I leave, it's going to be like the Taft presidency. When William Taft was president in the early 20th century, his policies were very conservative. And some Republicans didn't like that, so they parted ways with it and formed the Progressive Party under Teddy Roosevelt. What that ended up doing was give way to the Democrats to win the White House.
Right.
That's what happened under Woodrow Wilson. So something tells me that's going to happen. I mean, I'm just not sure. I mean, it depends, but I don't know. Your thoughts on that?
Like as far as what? As far as there being a sweep?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a sweep simply because there's nobody else who's going to be able to run on the left. There's nobody that is strong enough to actually run against Trump and garner a lot of attention. See, the thing is, the Democrats have been on this whole anti-white male thing for a while. They may be forced to run the white male because they may be the best person that they have to run, but they won't be able to garner enough votes because you got to get turnout. In a lot of places where you were not able to win in 2016, because Trump can carry 2016 states and possibly gain new ones. So if you can't get the voter turnout from people that are kind of like disappointed that there's another white male in there, how are you going to be able to get the votes necessary to win each state in the electoral? Not even, and you probably won't even get the popular vote this time because you have a lower voter turnout. People would just say, "Well, I'm not going. You got two white males, so what?" Same thing.
Yeah, but at this point, with all the nominees coming, I'm still in line for more like Donald Trump winning.
That's right.
I mean, there are a couple that I might consider if somebody put a gun in my head and forced me to vote for a Democrat. But as of now, I might just stick with the Republican Party for now because I'm worried about the Democratic Party very much. But I'll talk to you later, ABL. I'm going to relax. So catch you later, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Have a good stream. Peace.
Peace. All right. Thank you to Jordan for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody in the building. We got 376 live. Please give me a thumbs up on the video. It helps out tremendously. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. If you forget, the number is always in the description box and also in the ticker or right here below me. You'll see it in a moment if you don't see it right now. But let me get to the next call. Mike from Queens, what's happening?
Good evening, Anthony. How you doing tonight?
Everything is great. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Just wanted to touch on, did you see what was trending on Twitter today around like midday? Hashtag my white privilege.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I don't know who started the hashtag, but I think it rose to number one as far as the United States trends go. I don't know. You get tired of this. You get tired of hearing all this nonsense. I mean, it's like they're trying to start a civil war with people.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they may be thinking that they're gonna do, but I don't think they really want that, because once they actually get something like that, they're not gonna really be able to do anything with it. But beyond that, it's just part of this whole anti-white male campaign. It's been going on for years now. It's like it's commonplace. Anti-white male. That's what they want to do. It's a common thing. So you're gonna have to talk about white privilege and white this and white that. So that's why it perplexes me how you have all these leading people on the Democratic side that are white males. I don't understand, because that is exactly who they don't want. That's why they won't be able to win. Beyond just not having good candidates and not having the correct message, they don't have the right identity. So if they're trying to lose it, if they're trying to tank the election, they're doing a fantastic job. And these little hashtags that are allowed to go on social media without being checked, without being deleted by Twitter like they do everything else, it lets you know where we're going, and it lets you know where they're going as a collective.
Exactly. I mean, if it wasn't for low IQ, they would have no IQ at all.
That's right.
They keep beating upon one particular ethnic group. I mean, come on. I mean, you talk about my male white privilege. Yeah, male white privilege didn't save all those Union soldiers that died in the Civil War. Didn't save all those white soldiers in World War I, World War II, Korea, the Vietnam War, Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not saying there have been plenty of ethnic groups that have made this ultimate sacrifice for this country. Don't get it wrong, but I mean, come on, stop singling out one particular group. We're all Americans.
Yeah, that's right. We're all as one. We're all as one. It doesn't really matter what your race, background, or whatever. Once you are a citizen, you're an American citizen. You're one of us.
Especially these guys that go overseas to defend our freedom. It doesn't matter who they are. Once you're in a foxhole and the rounds are flying, it doesn't matter what branch of the service you're in. You're all Americans, and you have to rely on each other to survive.
That's right. 100% correct.
It's the same thing here domestically. You may have to rely on a complete stranger, because you might be in a situation where, let's just say you get struck by a car walking in the street, and a complete stranger will probably come over and help you. I mean, that's just the nature of people, most people in this country.
That's right. Absolutely.
And I really don't have much not much to say about Jesse Smollett and that whole Chicago fiasco. I mean, they're basically making Tammany Hall look like the Little Leagues or Class A baseball compared to Chicago at this point.
Oh, Chicago is a total mess. I mean, just out in the open corruption, like just not even trying to hide it. It's like somebody robbing a bank in the middle of the daytime with no mask on, just like like it's nothing. And they want to tell me that they're not doing it. It's like, I can see you. I'm looking right at the corruption right in front of my face. Rahm Emanuel, all these people, in my opinion, the whole thing is corrupt from top to bottom. It's built on corruption. And this ain't nothing new. It's been going on for a very long time now. We're just seeing more of it.
Well, that's always been a big Democrat machine out of Chicago. I mean, look, Obama came out of there. It was in the 1960 presidential election that delivered JFK the presidency. But I mean, it's just too bad that Chicago is with all this murder out of control, hasn't seems like they're at a turning point, and it's not like New York when New York was at a turning point in the early '90s when Rudy Giuliani stepped in and ran for mayor and won, and really straightened the city out. That's what they need over there. They need someone to come in there that's not gonna shake hands with the Al Sharptons and have them in the back office making deals and whatnot. Get someone in that's going to, clean all the corruption out, fire everybody that's in the, that's a lot of these top, positions like the Cook County prosecutor and bring in their own people and try to clean it up. I mean, that's the only solution, but that's never going to happen because that's locked down by the Democrats.
That's right. Exactly.
So, all right. I don't got anything else, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Have a good night now.
All right, thanks to Mike from Queens for the call. Most certainly appreciate him, and thank you all for being here. You guys know the drill. The number to call is what's my number? 434-658-1220. I got caught up in my own phone number. I almost gave you my actual number. This is just the show number. So let me go ahead and get to my next call here. Thank you all for joining. Most certainly appreciate you. 240, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's JB. What's up, brother?
Everything's good, JB. What's happening?
Another day and another dollar. That's my chance.
No doubt, man. What's going on?
Man, Jesse, I heard that his small mother getting sued to pay $100,000 to pay the Chicago police station for wasted time and money. That'd be a good punishment.
See, the thing about that is, I don't know if he got sued. It was a letter that he got from the Chicago police, but I don't know if it was an actual lawsuit. So my thing is, look, if y'all serious, go ahead and sue him. Don't send him a letter talking about pay up. Like the letter was saying basically, pay this money or we're going to prosecute you for a different crime that he did not get charged with yet. I'm like, man, look, you might as well just go ahead and sue him for real and get that money rather than trying to go through this whole court process because you know that the courts are corrupt.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm saying. Is like they need to do something with him because I'm sick of this. Because the thing about it, he's ruined his career. He's ruined his career. His career's over.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because Empire got the lowest ratings ever in the whole series of the show. Now, it was still quite a few viewers, like 3.97 million, but it was not as many as they normally have. And these shows with these big salaries like that, they're built upon a lot of people watching. So when they're not getting numbers they used to, the ad dollars going to go away. And if certain companies don't want to be affiliated with Jussie Smollett based on a hoax, they're going to pull ad dollars away. So he may end up canceling the whole show based upon him being there. So either they're going to keep him on and risk losing the whole show because people are going to boycott and not watch, or they got to kick him off. And where's he going to go after that? What's going to be the next course of action after Empire is over?
Exactly. And then the thing was so bad is how everybody's so, oh my God, it's all Trump's fault. It's Trump. Man, they try to put on Trump, blame Trump for the whole situation. I'm like, how the hell are you going to blame him? You see what I'm saying? They did something because he incited all this evilness. I'm like, man, well, you serious? You live in the most corrupt city in the world. Shut up.
I mean, how is it Jussie Smollett? You know, all the time I see these incidents happen with so-called Trump supporters is usually a leftist person that's in the center of it all the time. It's just kind of what happens. I never really see anything the other way around. It ain't like a bunch of guys in their MAGA hats is going around just trying to beat up on people that voted for Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton. It's always a person just trying to defend themselves, or they're being falsely accused of doing something they didn't do.
Exactly. And you know the sad thing about Moses Wilson is he has really messed black people seriously with this whole fake hate crime. And then his dumbass, his stupid lawyer gonna say they were probably in whiteface. I was like, really? Are you saying people that stupid? It's just mind-boggling to me. And then the highlight of my week had to be the Ocasio, the Ronald Reagan on Terrence Rapp. That just made my week. They made her look so stupid and dumb.
You talking about
18.
AOC with the Green New Deal?
Yes, yes, yes. And then he made like a fool, and then on top of that, everybody's looking at her like she's the dumbest person in the world. Because I'm too, she ruined the Amazon deal. Her Green Deal's going down, and it's like and everybody's seeing through the BS about socialism. Bernie Sanders is not going to win. What's that dude from Texas? He's definitely not going to win. And then Kamala Harris is talking about, well, I don't know, all the facts came out about him. All the facts came out about Jesse Smollett. And it just feels like everybody's attached to Jesse Smollett is going down. Have you noticed that?
You said what now?
I say, you know, all the people who spoke about Jesse Smollett's case is going down. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's crazy, and you know they don't. I don't understand why they keep. You know, I don't understand why they were really so anxious to get this. You know, they should have just waited like everybody else until we knew more information.
Yeah, this is public lynching, and that's the bad part about it. And then the thing we sick about those lynchings is that Chicago's the most corrupt city in the world. And then they always try to say any city run by Republicans is a bad city. Well, that's true falsehood right there. Every city has been run by liberals is a piece of shitty ass as a crappy, the best up city. Sorry, call myself. My bad, ABL. My bad.
Are you good?
But you see my point, though?
Yes.
Like Washington D.C. it's a good city to live in. The only reason is because it's a mixed culture. But in the hindsight of everything is. It's overrun. Like I'm in DC right now. Route 1 looks like Little Mexico. There's so many illegals here. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, like I know how it is up there. I mean, you got Sterling, like they call that El Salvador, and Herndon they call that Honduras because there's so many people that come from El Salvador, Honduras illegally, and they set up little shops down there.
Yes, and then there's the sad thing about it is it's like they ruined like literally Route 1. And oh my God, Route 1 is horrible looking. I've never seen so many Honda Accords sitting on spoles and everything. Yeah. And then so many people without license riding around there. And then I think you heard about Bladensburg, Maryland.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Bladensburg, Maryland is horrible. It is like so many illegal in there. They literally get ran off from 7-7. They have so many day workers sitting around doing nothing.
Right.
Yeah. But before I go, what's your level now on what's it called?
Division?
Yeah.
I think I'm like I might not have changed from last time. I might be like 13, 12 or 13, something like that.
Okay. I told you I'm catching up with you, dude. I'm gonna get you, dude. I'm catching up with you, dude. Hey, put your name on the link, man. I'm gonna play with you one day.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it in there. I'll put it in the link.
You said that last time, you didn't do it. It's okay. You probably fired. You probably fired, man. So I take your gamer tag. All right, brothers. All right, bro. Have a nice one.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, peace.
All right, thank you to JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. I do have a link. I got to put my PSN tag in there. I am on PSN Gaming, but I got to put a link for the Blexit rally. I just saw that on the Facebook page for Blexit. So hold on 1 second. Let me get the correct link. I don't want to give you the Greek letters or whatever. Okay. Now, the Blexit rally will be in Dallas on April 28th. That's a Sunday in April. April 28th this year, obviously. So in a little while, and there's a link right there. So if you're in Dallas, you want to go to the Blexit rally on April 28th, the link is right there. The tickets don't really cost too much. It's like $3 just to avoid trolls and stuff. But keep an eye on that link so it should be updated with the venue if the venue is not there right now. We try to keep the venue limited to like right before the event is going to happen because we don't want to have trolls come in and ruin it. You know, but I'm sure it'd be like in the downtown space. It wouldn't just be like in the middle of nowhere. Because the last time we had a Blexit rally, we had it in Richmond, downtown Richmond. So I'm pretty sure it'd be the same thing this time. I might do that Digital Killer Division 2 video. And I did see some of that live stream in Chicago from Turning Point, the Rapper 10,000. That was pretty good. But the Dallas Blexit rally will be April 28th. I may be there. I may not be there. I don't really know. I have a lot going on that particular weekend. But, hey, if I'm there, I'm there. Either way it goes, Brandon Tatum's going to be there. Candace Owens is going to be there. Rob Smith and a few other guys. You may see Lucas there. I'm going to see if Lucas is going. But definitely the main turning point folks, Rob, Candace, Brandon, they're all going to be there. Tim B says, has the left label ABL alt-right yet? I've not been labeled alt-right. I don't get labeled by anybody, really, because I'm still kind of like under the radar to a certain extent. People know who I am, but I'm not like a really popular person like that. All right, it was Sweet Speaks. What's going on? I can't hear you, Sweet. If you can hear me, I can't hear you. So I don't know what's going on with your microphone, but if you could fix that, that'd be good. I'll try to get you back on. Okay, let's get to my next call. 617, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Al from New York.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, man. I caught your thing on RT. You did a good job, man. I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Just one quick thing about Ron Emanuel. I had never heard of that guy until he came out and bashed Smollett, and I was like, oh, okay, like a Democrat is reasonable, which is something you don't see every day. And then he came out recently and he said, oh, well, the reason Smollett did this thing was because of Trump. And I'm like, oh, man, just right when I was about just starting to like this guy.
Now, Rahm is a big time super Democrat. I think him and Barack Obama are besties. Like, nah, Rahm Emanuel is the last guy that anybody would say is somehow considerate or okay or moderate. But in a Jesse case, he seemed like he was like that, but no.
Well, I see that now, but because I don't really make it my mission to learn about all the Democrats because they just get me angry. But anyway, so what I wanted to mention earlier, you were talking about the candidates, and I've been looking into this guy Yang, this Democrat guy that's for UBI, Universal Basic Income.
Yes.
And I don't know if you caught his appearance on Joe Rogan.
I did.
So basically, what I think he's very dangerous. This is what I think, and I'm not a economist. I've studied economics on my own, and I've done research on history on my own, but I'm not a trained economist. But what I think, the reason I think this is dangerous is, so the first thing I want to say is, I'm not saying Yang is a communist or a socialist. And I'm not saying that universal basic income is communism or socialism. What I would like to say is that from what I see happening in America and around the world too, is that we have all these capitalist nations that are being subverted by socialist, communist ideas. And it's evolving into a new form of power centralization that we haven't yet labeled it because we don't really know what the outcome's going to be. So what I think is happening is, so if we give everybody $1,000, regardless of whether that's feasible or not, he seems to come up with ideas, reasons for why it is. But giving everybody $1,000 in the country, don't you think? What do you think? Do you think that this would affect our economy in radically unpredictable ways?
Okay, well, here's a few things about that. I did a video about this, and I kind of looked into it. Right. Now, the first thing is that it wouldn't really help those that actually need the money more than those who don't need it, because he said that this will replace your welfare if you want it. But you can't have both. You can't have your welfare that could match up to 1,000 and UBI. So, prime example, if you have welfare programs that are the equivalent of like $700 a month, you will only get 300 more on top of that. So you're not really getting that big of a bump. You're getting 300 more bucks a month. But if you have a job and you're getting like $50,000 a year, you're a single person with no kids, you get an extra $1,000 on top of that. So you're actually getting more than a person who does not have the money to be able to. So his whole thing, with the way he was trying to sell it, was like, okay, you got these truckers, right? And they're going to be out of a job due to automation, which is not even really true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even, he doesn't understand trucking. But he's saying that they won't have a job anymore because of trucking. And we can have the UBI come in to help supplement their income due to them not having a job anymore. But he was talking about truckers making like 50 grand a year. So 50 grand a year, you give them $1,000, but what if they go on welfare and stuff and food stamps to help them throughout a tough time? They're not actually getting any more money. So you're not truly helping. And then the cost is outrageous. You're talking about like $3 trillion a year. You're talking about adding a VAT tax to Amazon to help subsidize it. But he doesn't understand that when you add taxes to companies to help pay for things, all they're going to do is pass it on to the consumer. So he's just going to make Amazon Prime be more, all the products on the website be more. You're going to raise the cost of living.
Right, that's exactly, yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Nah, but see, so it's like it's a lateral move at best. It doesn't even really help. All you do is just make products cost more. People that and people that have less money, or people that are like on the street homeless, will now have a harder time being able to actually participate in the economy because there's a higher ceiling to even the most basic of goods because you've raised the price on people like Amazon. Amazon's out here shipping toilet paper. I mean, it's not a very well thought out plan. So communism, I think, could be a result of it, but more than anything else, I think it could be like a bankruptcy type situation because you won't be able to fund it. And if you do fund it, it's just going to hemorrhage money, and it won't be able to really make up for the cash that you're spending.
Yeah, see, that was going to be the next thing I was going to say, because what I was going to say is that exactly what you said about prices increasing. Because think about it, if everyone, see, nobody knows what anybody makes. It's good that way, because then the businesses have to figure out what's the best price. But if the businesses and rent, I use the example of renters, people that landlords. I use this as an example, and I had people come at me like, "Oh, First of all, one thing I want to say is if someone comes at you and the first thing they say to combat your argument is, because I'm a professor of economics, you should listen to me. That person, like, don't fall for that. Like, just because somebody has credentials, that's them using their power over you. Like, they should make a point that makes sense to you. But so what I was going to say is, like what you said about prices increasing, that's what I figured would happen. Like, prices would just go up, and eventually the economy would balance out to the point where that $1,000 doesn't mean anything because it's going to balance it out. So, like, let's say if rents, right, like maybe this wouldn't happen, but this is theoretical, is that because I feel like this is a sort of a trick to get us to get down more socialism, more communist type ideas to the point where we're completely subverted. But if you implement this $1,000, now everybody knows, all the land owners know that people have an extra $1,000. So everybody's going to try to be grabbing that money that people got. And so rents could increase. And then the argument against it is that, there'll be competition, people will move out. But I feel like eventually the economy would start to somehow balance in a way where that $1,000 isn't going to mean anything. And now we're stuck paying for this. And now everyone is reliant on that $1,000.
Right, exactly. And, so it wouldn't actually help. All you have now is the same economy as before with now just more government spending. So what's the point?
Right.
You want to keep the spending low because now you're going to just rapidly increase the debt because the U.S. only brings in about $3.3 trillion in revenue every year from taxes. So if you're going to cost $3 trillion a year to fund this program, where's money going to come from? The budget is already over like $4 trillion. So you're going to add 3 more on top of that. The debt is going to be ballooning every year for no reason because there's no actual benefit from the new money. Right.
Yeah. It's just what I think people don't. I think what's happening is people want it to be good because he talks really well and he sounds really intelligent and I'm sure he's a really smart guy. He seems to be very successful and very smart. But no one man can understand the complex system of the economy. It's like the human body. It's like a very complex system that everything has to be functioning correctly together. The more socialism you put into a system, it's like a cancer. And our economy is so powerful it's so well put together that, I mean, with all the socialism we do have, we're still able to come out of it. But what a lot of people try to say to me is like, but you don't understand economics because you're saying that it's communism. Communism is a system which in the centralized control of property. I understand that, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's a new evolution to these power grab, centralization of power sort of techniques by, let's just call them enemies of freedom, whoever these people are that are attacking America, that have been ideologically subverting us for some time. And what they have to realize is that America is never going to adopt capitalism or socialism willingly. It's going to be implemented issue by issue to the point where, let's say 99% to the point. Look at Sweden. Sweden turned into a country that is capitalist, but they're so socialized that they have crazy, insane tax rates, and so they're practically socialist.
That's right.
And so that's what we have to be careful of, and don't let people tell you, oh, I'm an economist. Don't let them use word trickery to ruin your common sense arguments, because the economy is simple. It's about letting the economy do what it's supposed to do. And I have way more faith in the free market, like what Andy says about that these truckers, these men who have been supporting their families for this whole time aren't smart enough and aren't. I have more faith in the economy and the free market's ability to adapt than I do one-man solutions.
Very well said, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right,
great. Thanks, man. Yep. Bye.
Very well said. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to all you people in here. We got 318 live in the building. Please give me a thumbs up on the video if you just came in. That helps out tremendously. And shout out to, let me see, the super chat here. Mr. Roman, who says coconut water donation here, brother. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Got to stay hydrated, 1,000%. But let me get to my next call. All right, here, Sweet Speaks. You on the line?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
That's great. So, did you hear about Hizb ut-Tahrir, the Islamic party in Copenhagen?
No, I did not hear about that.
Last week, Friday, well, not this Friday, but the Friday before, they had a rally in Copenhagen, or as they called it, a public Friday prayer. And they had this speech about being persecuted and all of this stuff. And they talked about how, since no one can beat Islam in the battle of the minds, instead they lie about us and all of that stuff. So there were hundreds of people, doing their Friday ritual in the street. And the place they picked were right outside the Danish parliament. So to me, it looks like they were trying to show that this was some kind of demonstration to show their strength or something like this.
Wow. So, okay. You have a pro-Islam, it's like a political party?
Yeah, it's a global party, and they have a branch in Denmark, and they're called Hizb ut-Tahrir. I mean, I don't speak Arabic, but something like that.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. I mean, how does it even really happen? It's just allowed to be there. Now is it a political party or a lobbying group, kind of like a Hamas or something? Like what is it?
Well, they're a political party, but they're telling people not to vote, and they picked because they're not in favor of Western democracy. So they think if you vote, you're kind of legalizing that system.
Oh,
but,
wow. Okay.
They are a registered party, and they want a caliphate in the Islamic countries, and they want to spread Islam to the non-Islamic countries, which, I mean, if in the long run, that means they want a caliphate everywhere, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it seems like, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a counter-demonstration on the other side of, there's a canal that sort of goes around that area. There was a counter-demonstration by some people calling themselves Tight Course, which is a Danish party, and I looked into them because some people have recommended me to talk to their leader for interviews or whatever. So I took the time to read their program, and I'm like, oh boy, we got two crazy groups fighting each other here. On the other side, they were burning the Quran, and I'm fine with that. I think you should be allowed to burn whichever book you want to, including the Bible. That's fine with me. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but it should be allowed.
Right.
But I looked at their program and okay, they are ethno-nationalists. They want Denmark for Danes, and they don't mean people who assimilate. They mean people who are ethnic Danes. From what I could understand, they wouldn't even want me to move there, and they certainly wouldn't want any other of my family members to move there.
That's pretty crazy because you're actually like from that general region, right? But you can't even move to that's pretty crazy. I mean, so you got two extremist groups. You got one side is just, you got both sides that are unreasonable. You need to have more of the center, but
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I saw some same criticism, and it was from an Iranian who moved to Denmark and who joined a more sane party, and she was writing a long post on Facebook where she talked about how she was so tired of having to fight the same battles here as her parents fought in Iran before they fled, and she was also mad at the so-called peaceful democratic Muslims that why didn't you show up and demonstrate against this, she wrote. And I'm like, yeah, that's the criticism they need.
That's a good point, because you always see these crazy groups from Islam come out, and then, you know, people that are Islamic say, well, that's just a fringe group. It doesn't represent us. It's like, well, there needs to be a counter protest. You guys got to be out there saying, hey, that's not us. We're regular people. Don't listen to them. But you really don't see that too much. Is it because of fear? I don't know what's really going on, but it's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, that's a good question. But as I say, they talk about the religion of peace of all of that stuff. I never see any large groups of Muslims protesting, for instance, persecution of Christians or killing of Christians by Muslims in Nigeria or Pakistan. But as soon as someone draws their profit, they're all out in the streets.
That's a very good point. Very, very good point. Yep. In droves.
Yeah. So, and in Sweden, there was recently a lack of cancer medication, not only in rural areas. They had a lack in Stockholm. So that country is going down.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty bad. Now,
yeah,
I was just talking about socialism with the previous caller, and you're talking about a lot of the Nordic countries that may have socialism, but is it utopia? I mean, if you don't have medication in a place like Stockholm, and it seems pretty bad.
Yeah, because that's the capital.
Right.
And yeah, and I read that the Swedish currency, they looked at some of the major currencies in the Western world and compared them to the euro. The only currency that has lost value towards the euro is the Swedish krona. All the other ones have gained.
Wow.
The dollar has strengthened by 2%. The British pound is strengthened by 4%. The Swedish krona has been weakened by 2.5%. So I think what Sweden is doing is just undermining the trust for Sweden in the markets.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, because, you know, I want the gold standard, but I think these numbers, they tell us something.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely do.
Yeah, and there's still no Brexit in Britain. I don't know when that's going to happen.
Oh man, that's been going like in the roller coaster over the past few years. Like I thought right when it happened, that was going to be it. They're going to separate. It's not going to be a whole big, long debate over it, but I'm not sure what's happening now. I mean, like last I heard, I was talking to Nippon, and he was like, well, it got delayed, but what's happening now? Do you know?
Someone told me, I haven't checked this, but someone told me that it's delayed until May. And I'm saying they're just kicking that bucket for as long as they can and hoping that people are going to just stop bothering them about it. But from what I see, there are a lot of people in Britain out on the streets protesting. Nippon probably told you more about that.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what's going on. They're going to keep kicking the bucket down the road. They're going to say, okay, it's May and it's time to exit Britain, but we're going to delay it again. Or we're going to do the procedure. It could be years and years and years, and I just don't understand what's the purpose other than just trying to not leave. They're trying to prevent Britain from leaving, which kind of lets me know that they should leave, because if you got to fight tooth and nail to keep somebody that wants to stay, you probably shouldn't be there to begin with. Yeah,
because, you know, before I close this, I've noticed that when I meet British people in continental Europe, well, they're all against Brexit because they're all very worried that they're going to get kicked out of Latvia or the Czech Republic or whatever they live. And I'm like, first of all, the people wanted Brexit. And second of all, do you really think you're going to get kicked out if you're an asset to the country you live in now?
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. And I mean, it should be some kind of exception. Like, are they just going to round you up and say, okay, you've been living here for a while, since you're no longer part of the European Union in your home country, we're just going to remove you now. I mean, I doubt that would happen. People are kind of getting a little bit paranoid. I think everybody would be fine. And I think the entire Europe will be better once the EU was no longer this big domineering force.
Yeah, because I think when it comes to Brexit, it's like kind of the same thing as with Trump. It's this really divisive issue that you're either for or against it, and people are very passionate, either one side or the other.
That's right.
So that's pretty much all I got. What's going on your end?
It's not too much. It's a whole lot of politics, a whole lot of things going on. We're just trying to get the 2020 race happening, and I'm just ready for Trump to win yet again. There's nobody on the left that can really run against him. They're trying to run creepy Joe Biden, but that's not going to work. Nobody's going to work on the left, so I'm just ready for Trump to win again. 2020, I'm ready for it.
Hey, maybe we'll try with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Hey, that'd be a great tag team to run against. It'd be fun. The memes would be hilarious. So at least we can get that from the left. We won't get a victory from them, which is a good thing. We can get some good memes, but that'd be about it.
Yeah, you remember when she brought up slavery and people told her that actually your ancestors in Jamaica were slave owners?
That's right. That's right. You know, her father, I think his mother or somebody may have been a slave owner or a descendant of one. So,
right.
You know, because people think Jamaican, quote unquote, Jamaican equals black. No, Jamaica is a country. There's different ethnic groups there. It's not just black. You got Chinese people. You have East Indian people. You have white people. So her father could be whatever one of those races. He could be anything. And obviously he is, which is why he has a descendant of slave owners.
Yeah. So I guess that's about it for today.
All righty. Well, tell everybody how to get in contact with you, Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to my website, which is at https://sweetspeaks.com.
All righty. Thank you for the call as always. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for taking my call. Have a great evening.
Same to you.
Yeah, bye.
All right. Thank you to Sweet Speaks for the call as always. You'll go ahead and go to his website if you've not done so already. Great guy, world traveler, all over the place. So shout out to him and subscribe to the website, subscribe to the YouTube page, all that good stuff. All righty. And thank you to the people in the chat. We got 305 live in the building. I appreciate that. Thank you to Jeremy Likens for your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. And shout out to all y'all who bought one of these hats. These hats are available in the description box. There's a link that says ABL merch here. Click on that. It'll bring you right to my store. And there should also be some merchandise up under this video in the carousel. It probably is at the end of the carousel. If you click on over, you'll see this hat. It'll be a black one. This is a trucker style hat in red. The red is a little bit different on the website, but this is how the red looks. It's pretty bright, pretty vibrant. It'll stand out. It'll pop. This is the 1776 Betsy Ross stars with the number right there in the center and the black and white flag. And I got some more hats coming out pretty soon, more merch coming out. I'll try to release something like every month or so. So thank y'all for joining. I had a call, but I was a little too slow to the trigger. I'll get to the call next time when they come back. And thank you to Truth Seeker for your very kind words. Most certainly appreciate you. All righty. Let's get to my next call. Kerplunk, what's happening?
What's going on, Anthony, man? What are you up to, man?
Everything's good, man. You're kind of breaking up a little bit there, boss.
Yeah, no, it's a rainy, cold day out here, and I got a really poor signal.
Yeah, so I might not be able to keep you on too long if you kind of, but you know, talk now and see how it goes.
All right, let's go. Let's do this. How you doing tonight?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
All right. So we got Joe Biden. Can't remember what he did last year, huh?
Yeah, Joe Biden is a mess, and he wants to run for president. Apparently, I said, let him run. That'd be a fun campaign to see crash and burn.
Yeah, he's already at Ronald Reagan status towards the end of his second term with amnesia and everything. That's
a good point because man, we can't forget that he's also very old at this point. He's much older than Trump and Bernie. I think he's like 75.
Something like that.
No, I think Bernie's older than him, but he is much older than Trump.
Yeah, Bernie, like, what, he's on like 78, I think, or 79, something like that. He's up there.
Oh, Biden is 76 and Bernie is 77 or 78.
Something like that. Something like, I know he's up there. Even if you got him, he'd be 80 years old. That's Ginsburg age up there. He's pushing Ginsburg. He's like right behind her.
That's right.
But and something interesting. Hey, great job, by the way, on RT, man. I watched the whole thing, and I could see you like biting your lip, trying not to laugh at that guy with the little short guy with the glasses.
Yeah, it was it was pretty funny sometimes. I was just trying to keep my composure on TV, but that was a great kind of like a round table cross talk type thing, and I'll probably be doing some more of those. But that was a lot of fun to do that.
You could actually see him start to come around and say, "Hey, you know what? The Democrats he separate himself from the Democrats." Cenk Uger's doing the same thing. He's pulling himself away from the Democrats now. He said, "Oh yeah, they messed that up good. After 2.5 years, all these even the cable news and even the non-mainstream, the YouTubers and things like that, they're all pulling out of that. They're walking away."
But see, the thing about Cenk Uger is that he is a big time Bernie guy. So he's going to say that the Democrats are doing X, Y, and Z because remember the DNC pretty much hosed Bernie in 2016. They didn't let him get his own voting, his own information to do cold calls and stuff. They took him out of the race. So he still has a sore spot from back then because what he did to Bernie. You see what I'm saying? So,
well, yeah. Now that you got this, his boss now. Now, Cenk's everybody got a boss. Even the president got a boss. His boss is the American people. However, Cenk Uger, like you said there, with lots of lemons, because he's pretty sour right now. He's got a guy. His name is Zach Exley. You ever heard of that guy?
I've never heard of him.
Zach Zackexeley. Zach Exley. Look into him. He's the driving force behind AOC. In fact, he's got a there's my little note board here. You know how it's falling apart. I mean, look at me. There's a video called "The Brains Behind AOC." It's made by Mr. Reagan, is the YouTuber. He's got this little mole.
Yeah, I saw that video from Mr. Reagan about AOC. I did see that. Okay,
yeah. So there's the brains behind the. It's like the little. What's that little Squidward or not Squidward? Kind of like Squidward. The little plankton guy that's inside the brain, and he's with the controls and stuff.
Are you talking about Krang from the Turtles?
No, I'm talking about SpongeBob SquarePants, man.
Oh, I don't know. I never watched SpongeBob.
This little evil guy, he's trying to get the Krabby Patty recipe out of the restaurant.
I have no clue.
Anyways, yeah. So they have a lot of memes where the little green guy's in the guy's head, and he's got the little controls, and he's like pushing the controls. There was one with Joe Biden. It's a meme. So, but yeah, the brains behind it. So there's a little guy in there that's telling her about the Green New Deal.
Oh, call him Plankton.
Plankton, yeah. So yeah, he can't. She can't write. She doesn't have the brain power to write that kind of legislation. I mean, she could barely tie her shoes and walk out the door and get her. And then there's a rumor I heard she has no chairs in her house, which is weird.
I wouldn't doubt it. She's a weird person, and the whole thing. The Green New Deal is old though, because Jill Stein had that back when she was running for president. All they did was just take it from her and repurpose it for AOC. Yeah. It's so simple. I mean, it's old legislation, but because AOC is popular right now, it's easy to go ahead and say, okay, this is hers, but it's not. It came from Jill Stein years ago.
And there's a meme going around now. It's really messed up when you don't even vote for your own bill. 57 and nothing.
That's a good point.
She sat there and she introduced this bill and then didn't even vote for it. It's just wow, who does that? So yeah, we got that, and Jussie Smollett, he remembers his own history. It's messed up. Jussie remembers his history, but Joe Biden can't remember his.
Yeah, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a mess though, and so is Jesse. I'm not sure who's worse, Jesse or Joey.
Yeah, well, we got to think a little bit ahead now. All jokes aside, all fun and satire aside, we got to think ahead, because what happens in 2024? There's nobody to replace Trump. You know, what do we? I mean, we can go ahead and vote for Eric or Donnie Jr., but there ain't gonna be no one like Trump to replace him. So when he's gone, we don't know. So we got to be careful what we root for. And I mean, fun time is almost over. We got to start getting serious about this now because it's coming down to the wire, and all the memes, and we can all meme and we do everything, poke fun, but especially in the aftermath of this Russia collusion thing, those people have the wind just took right out of their sails, and we got to be a little bit compassionate, be what they weren't, in a sense. It's fun to ridicule someone and make fun of them and stuff, but man, I don't know. It just seems at this point it's a little bit old. It's almost. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad the Russian Gate thing is over, but in the aftermath of it, we got to start getting serious. Start thinking about 2020 election, and we got to lay a little bit of road ahead of ourselves because people are going to become complacent and sit on their couch. And a mad voter is going to. There's going to be angry voters coming out. In the near future.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens because my thing I was talking about earlier is that the Democrats can't run a white male successfully anymore. They can't run any more white males, but the top people that are polling on the Democrat side are white males, so you're not really going to be able to get any kind of enthusiasm from the left if you do that. And there's a lot of enthusiasm on our side because a lot of the fun, a lot of the games creates enthusiasm. So we're going to go out there and vote based on that and based upon the fact that we want to have better policy. Like a lot of us are more interested in politics than we were before, due to, in my opinion, a lot of the entertainment value, because it makes you want to look into it and see what's going on with it. Whereas before, it was kind of a civic duty. You're not really enthusiastic about doing it. So I think we'll be able to win based on that. But I'm going to get to a few more calls here, Kerplunk, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, well, much love. Smash on that like button. I had to do that. Share on your other social media. Got to get the word out. We're not militant people. We're more like we're the actual progressives. So in order to make progress, we're gonna have to smash you. We already smashed all these. We're gonna smash. Hit that like button, and please leave comments. It pushes the algorithm up. Good night, ABL.
Go. Thank
love,
you, man.
much peace. Peace.
All right, thank you to Kerplunk. The connection was kind of bad right there at the end, but he was just saying, push the like button. It helps the algorithm and all that good stuff, so people more can see the video and they can interact with it. It just helps out everything over here I'm doing tremendously. So thank you to my man Kerplunk for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's get to the bummer phone upgraded. I'm just playing. Let me get to the next call. Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, no problem, man.
Hey, you know what? I'm interested in the Green New Deal. I think I really want it this time. I really want Congress to pass the Green New Deal.
Is that right? You want that?
Yes, because, I want the Flintstone cars to come back.
you want the old school cars with the square wheels and the foot pedaling and all that?
Yes, exactly. I mean, Fred Flintstone really looked cool driving it when I was growing up, watching them drive it. And I want them to bring it back. So I'm really hoping for the Green New Deal to pass.
I mean, hey, it could be a good thing, man. We could have, rather than hardwood floors, we can have stone wood floors. We can have stone bed sheets, all that good stuff. You can work at the rock quarry. You can have a pet dinosaur, all that good stuff, man. I think it'd be great. So, yeah, let's bring that back. Let's go back to the Stone Age, and let's get rid of all technology and all the creature comforts that she likes, all the Ubering and stuff she's doing, all the Starbucks. That's going to be out the window. No more of that.
Yeah, exactly. But the Green New Deal points to why people are so skeptical about the climate change. So for me, I don't have a problem with climate change. The problem I have is that how much of human activity is factoring into it, which I don't think people have really answered that. People say that, oh, well, humans are playing a huge role in the climate change, but no, I beg to differ. But they are monetizing on the whole thing. AOC said science should not be partisan. But that's exactly what the Green New Deal is doing. It's making is making science partisan in order to pass your agenda. Same like with abortion. They made abortion so partisan when that's really a moral thing, and when science has shown that it's a separate being in the mother womb. It's not part of the mother. It's using the mother so it can get nutrition and grow, but it's a separate being, and
That's right.
people need to stop doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. People talk about all this, my body, my choice. It's not your body, really. It's a baby. A baby has their own body. They have their own limbs, their head, arms. They got all their organs and bones. It's a body inside of you. It's not your body. So that whole argument is just bogus. People don't understand that, or they're being willfully ignorant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Back to the climate change. When I brought up the Paris Accord to my wife's sister, when she was asking me why I support Trump, and I brought up the climate change, that people should not be monetizing on this. That's why I'm glad that Trump is pulled out of it. And she got this whole rant about, oh, well, America doesn't want to support climate change. And during that rant, she said that, well, if he doesn't want to be part of the Paris Accord, then he could just go get out. And I'm thinking to myself, but when he did that, you're pissed off that he did.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And also, University of Washington, I think he's the professor at University of Washington, said the exact same thing I'm saying, that you should not monetize climate change. And he got attacked so bad by the liberals when he actually agreed with them about climate change.
Yeah, it's crazy. The thing about the left, you can't have any kind of difference of opinion. You can't agree with them a little bit, somewhat, or mostly. You got to be all or nothing. You could have 80 to 90% of the same talking points, but if you disagree on one little thing, they're ready to just burn you at the stake. It's a crazy kind of world they live in.
Yeah. Anyway, CNN, they found a way to spin the whole Mueller investigation.
Oh, so what did they do now?
So this week, they mentioned about the money that was put into the investigation. I believe like somewhere in the 20 millions or something like that. Mm-hmm. So they compared it to the other investigations, said that, oh, it's not that bad. But thing is, though, for instance, they used the Watergate scandal as one of their examples to see, look how much money they put into that investigation, a whole lot more than this Mueller investigation. But that's over the years. But you look at the average they spent in 1 year compared to the Mueller investigation. It kind of shows that the Mueller investigation kind of spent more than the Nixon investigation. It just took some years for them to do that.
That's right. But they're not going to see it that way. They're just going to look at any kind of way they can to try and spin it and make it not really be a big deal, trying to downplay it. But it's like, come on, man. Like, we're past that. We all know at this point it was a witch hunt. They didn't find anything. They got some guys locked up on ticky-tack charges, old charges, targeted simply because they were affiliated with Trump. They were trying to get those guys to snitch on Trump, but much to their chagrin, there was nothing to snitch on. They couldn't tell anything because there wasn't anything to tell. So they're upset, and they're trying to find ways to justify being upset and trying to downplay it so we don't get upset about all the money that was spent unnecessarily.
Yeah, and on top of that, what also CNN said is that, well, the Mueller investigation, they dropped the ball because Trump wanted to talk to the investigators, and they could have found something on Trump if they allowed him. I'm like, find what? Just tell me, find what? Right. You talk to the associates, come and find out that what you arrested them over has nothing to do with Russia whatsoever. So what are you going to find from Trump?
Exactly. That's a very good question.
Yeah, and then back to those people who got arrested. The Morning Joe on MSNBC said that Trump threw them under the bus. I'm like, wait, so Trump told them not to pay their taxes, and therefore they so they could get arrested. That's what Trump told them?
That makes zero sense, none whatsoever. They pretty much say anything. I mean, come on, how does it? And then the thing about it is, a lot of that stuff was old, way before the actual campaign started, way before Trump even got into politics like that. So, like Paul Manafort, how are you going to say that he's responsible for Paul Manafort doing things way, way long time ago in his own private business? Like, come on, man. It makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, did you mention that you have Irish in your family?
Yeah, my great grandfather on my mother's side was mixed black and Irish.
Okay, that's the same thing with my great grandfather on my mother's side.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so and the funny thing is, there's one year in grad school that I decided to celebrate St. Patrick's Day by walking around the school with a big green hat.
Yeah.
And this Ghanaian girl, she had a big grin, tried to ask a rhetorical question. Said, "Victor, you got Irish in your family?" I said, "Well, yeah, my great grandfather." And that grin just wiped quick off her face. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she was trying to clown you, and then all of a sudden it was like, yes, I do. All of a sudden it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So about the St. Patrick's Day, which I think I've mentioned before about the Catholic leadership needs a backbone, and it kind of showed with the St. Patrick's Day parade in New York when Cardinal Dolan allowed the LGBT group to be represented in the St. Patrick's Day parade. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so stupid because what does your sexual orientation have to do with celebrating your culture? It has nothing whatsoever. Okay, you're celebrating your Irish heritage, not what you do in your bedroom. And it's kind of funny how you want to say, stay out of my bedroom when you put in your business out there in the world.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. It's like you putting yourself out there and then you like, stay out of my business. It's like, well, don't put yourself out there. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, you got a parade, the Gay Pride Parade. This is an Irish St. Patrick's Day parade. We don't need to know your sexual orientation or whatever you want to do in your bedroom. We want to celebrate your heritage.
Right.
Yeah. So also Cory Booker, I think he's been listening to your show.
How you figure?
Because he heard my complaints, said that I'm getting off the bandwagon, and all of a sudden he got a town hall on CNN.
Okay.
So I think he's listening, man.
Hey, maybe so. Could be.
Yeah. So also now this George Washington University thing about taking out George Washington. Mm-hmm. So I work at George Washington University.
Okay.
But I don't work at the undergraduate school, so that's the undergrad thing. I work at the medical school. Right. So I'm glad that I'm not in there, though that it will kind of affect us because we're part of the system. Right. But hypothetically, let's say that they want to do it. They can't because George Washington wrote it in his will that he wants a school named after him. So it can't happen at all. And on top of that, I don't know if he did. He probably waited till his wife died, but the slaves that he had, he set them free.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's the outrage with George Washington. Why you want to get rid of his name?
Well, I mean, it's simple because anybody that's considered an oppressive white male, part of the white male patriarchy, anybody like that, they're going to try to attack. And then they're going to try to find things about slavery. Then they're going to try to find things about anything. If he was oppressive towards his wife in their particular point of view, they're going to try to get rid of him. That's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to recreate history into this brown and black cornucopia rather than just what it was. Just the reality. Like, don't try to frame it. Don't try to make it be what you want it to be. Just make it be what it was, accurate, and that's it.
Yeah. So also, you mentioned before how things are coming to fruition about, well, they want to take down other statues and probably Mount Rushmore too.
Yeah.
Angela Rye, that a black woman that's a CNN contributor, she said on one of her interviews to take down Mount Rushmore at the height of the statues being taken down. This is around the time of Charlottesville thing, where taking down the Robert E. Lee, where she was debating somebody, and he brought up that, well, what about taking down the Mount Rushmore, stuff like that? And she said, yes, take them down too. And I think what it is for people is that they have so much misplaced anger that they don't know what to do with it. And because of that, they hold on to something in history that didn't affect them. And they just let it out. And they don't know what to do with it whatsoever. And as far as with the students, that's the undergrad students that's so angry, I just tell them, look, just enjoy college. If you want to change the world, that's fine. But you're in college right now. You have your whole life to do that. Just enjoy it. This college is your last year to act stupid before you go out to the real world. So have fun and enjoy your life, and most importantly, get your good grades so you can come out and get a good job.
That's right. Very well said.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you to Victor for the call. Always a great one. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. We got 303 live in the building. Shout out to my man, Truth Seeker, for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to American Joe Show for the donation. And thank you to Nico for the donation, who says you can't reason with NPCs. Might as well kill them if you want to level up. Wow. Very good point. Shout out to the video game reference. But let me get to the next call here. Nico, what's happening?
Hello, Anthony. What's up?
Everything's great, man. How about yourself?
Those 12-hour days really hit you hard,
Working hard, man. That's how you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I was hearing about that Washington college, the Washington statues at that New York college, I believe. And it makes me think that it's probably a good thing I'm a dropout, and it's probably a good thing that I just decided to go drop out of college and go straight to the real world right away.
Well, I mean, one thing that can be said is that you definitely are not in the indoctrination center. You're not being told all these crazy things by your liberal professors.
I mean, with all due respect, I will admit to some of your first-time viewers that when people see me, I do look like one of those Antifa protesters.
Right, but it's all good, man. It's all about how you behave.
I know, but I just want to show you I am not one of those people. At least I have a job, okay? Unlike most people who are even 25 years old are still out there whining and protesting rather than figuring out what to do with their lives.
That's right.
I'm not even 25 yet.
There you go.
But anywho, that's kind of interesting right there. By the way, have you ever heard about what was going on with Cardi B?
Yeah, like it was an Instagram live or something that came out about 2 or 3 years ago where she was talking about drugging and robbing men.
Yeah, and then people expect you to find sympathy for her. What do you think about that, Anthony?
I mean, my whole thing is if it was a man that would say something like that about women, then he would instantly get canceled. They would say, oh, you're part of this rape culture, taking advantage of women, all this, that, and the third. So if that's going to be said about men, then why not about her? So.
Well, then again, usually when it's I think it's how the laws work in America, and I think it's due to our I think it's due to our stereotypical culture, like collectively, that you probably see this a lot in our media, that men are always the perverts, men are always the ones who want sex, men are always the ones who beat women, but yet, and it's also the same time, whenever it's a female on male crime, the laws are often lenient.
Yeah, very much so. And then not only are the laws lenient, the view of the crime, when you're talking about how it's perceived in just a general public, is totally different.
Yeah, and I also heard of this. You know a guy named, oh, well, of course, you know Tim Pool, right?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Well, of course, I probably asked you that question before, but I've seen this video. I actually seen that this video from him where he says that young men, because of how we're empowering, because how our culture empowers women so much nowadays, that many men, particularly young men, are being neglected and left behind.
That's true. A lot of men, especially a lot of young boys, they're not being raised properly, and a lot of young men are out here lost because they lack the proper raising from a young age, which is extremely important.
And then how often, and when was the last time, it makes me think, when was the last time you ever saw an alpha male role model in our media? The 90s, the early 2000s, perhaps?
I'm not even really sure. I couldn't even tell you because it seems like now you have to be like a homosexual male to even be on television. Matter of fact, I was watching a YouTuber named Rhonda Mary, conservative black woman. She did a video about Roland Martin, who was an extremely liberal black male host. He had a guy that tried to go on CNN as a contributor, and this is a straight black male. The person told him, "We don't have any straight black men on our network. We only have gay black men on our network."
And it kind of makes me remind me, because of what you said, was that the reason why Justice Samal decided to create this hoax? Because I remember you seeing the last video you said to him. I remember that one interview he said, I'm a mother's son, and I deserve respect. I was like, well, there's your problem. I think the more term you're looking for is mama's boy, and therefore you didn't have a male role model to give you attention. So therefore, you just create this fake hoax to become the center of attention.
Yeah, that's a very good point. This whole thing, it definitely was about getting attention, the whole mama's boy thing, and people were willing to give him to it. People were willing to give him that attention that he was desiring because of his identity. You know, if you have just like a heterosexual black male, strong black male, it wouldn't have been as effective. But because he has that identity of being homosexual and being soft like that, then people were more likely to say, okay, you're a victim, I believe you.
Well, there's people like you, Anthony. You're a black male role model yourself, a more alpha male role model. Better keep that in mind, too.
Yeah, they don't want me on CNN. But you know what? I take that back because they tried to have me on CNN to be a contributor on a different panel. But what they want to do with me on those shows is to attack me. See, they didn't want me to have an opinion and just be on there without constantly getting attacked over and over because they want to discredit me as a heterosexual conservative black male.
I guess it's become more casual, but I guess you can forget this, Anthony, that considering that you seem to be as big as you were. You're pretty big right now, to be frankly honest, and therefore keep in mind in the future that you could be the missing alpha male role model to many younger black men out there. So keep that in mind, my friend.
Oh, definitely. I think you're right about that, and hopefully I'm able to do that.
Well, of course, Anthony. Well, of course, my friend. And speaking of that, have you ever heard of what's that segregation event in Georgia? I think they said no white journalists allowed.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a meeting, and then on the doors they had no media, only black media. So no other media except for black media. That was right there on the actual thing.
All right. Yeah, that was kind of interesting right there. But I also want to say this. I mean, there's also another thing I want to say about this UBI and all these extreme universal income policies, and you know how to use that argument that, oh, it works in Europe. Look at Sweden, look at France, look at Germany. I mean, yeah, sure. Look at France and look at Germany. Yeah, sure, universal healthcare works in Germany, but perhaps it works in Munich or Berlin or Stuttgart. But what about helping those those lower income people who live in East Germany, particularly in Bavaria, where that area is highly rural? Does it really help those people?
I can't see that it does. And then, Germany, the population is relatively small compared to the United States.
Yeah, but I'm also saying, because I remember this. I think I remember hearing about this one time with France. Is that many of the rural citizens are left behind, and the roads and the village streets are growing in weeds.
I see. So, the cities, they look all streamlined and nice and modern, all this and that. So when the tourists come, they can say, oh, this is very nice. But then once you go out into the rural areas where people still live, it's a whole different place.
I mean, that's the same thing. I remember hearing some people, because considering that I live here in the Bay Area, California. I mean, maybe these policies they say they don't work in America. Well, yeah, sure. Maybe they work in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, and Seattle, whatever. But from what I heard, it siphons the money away from most of the Midwestern areas.
Yeah, it does. It does. And that's a good point, because people talk about income equality, all this, that, and the third, not having a lot of money concentrated in one area, but those policies will do exactly that, because you want to keep these big projects and stuff in these cities going. Like, you got to take money from somewhere, so somebody's got to suffer.
I mean, I've considering that I live here, I've actually seen that stuff happen. I mean, I've heard people say that the Midwestern, but I have seen San Francisco flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that's probably all I got to say, Anthony. I think my time's up right here, but thanks for taking my call, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Same to you. Thank you to Nico for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody on the line. I'm going to try to get to you guys as soon as I can. I thank you all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. And the phone lines are busy, so I'll try to get everybody on as soon as I can. I'll see some calls here. But let me get to this next one. Okay. 214, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Tariq.
All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Oh, not much, man. Just want to talk about AOC, man. All I hear is, man, conservatives talk about AOC, like, even on my timeline. It's just AOC up and down. We know everything about her. And I feel as if I don't think we understand the AOC is the Trump effect. Like, when liberals see us talking about her constantly, I think it only serves to make her more popular. I don't think AOC is getting hurt. Even when you look on liberal outlets, she's not really being attacked. And liberals themselves, I don't really see like liberals just on the day-to-day streets talking about AOC as much as we. But I feel like when it comes towards election, because AOC pisses off a lot of conservatives, I think she's going to keep getting reelected. And I think we got to be strategic when talking about AOC. Maybe not follow her tweets. Like, who cares what she tweets? Only when she does something stupid like, okay, the Green New Deal, I get it. Let's criticize that. But it just feels like it's just constant talking about her, man. She got all these followers. I just feel like she's only popular because we keep talking about her. You know what I'm saying? I think she wouldn't be as popular if conservatives would stop elevating her to that stage. I just think that she is going to have that Trump effect. So I just want to caution conservatives on that. But the other thing I want to touch on is what y'all were talking about, alpha males in the media.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, man. I don't think there are any alpha males. I'll be honest with you, the only visible alpha male I can see is President Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he is just not caring. He's sticking to his word. I mean, Trump will go down in the gutter of, really politically incorrect issues and stick on a politically incorrect side and not care. Case in point, Charlottesville. You remember the whole Charlottesville thing?
Of course, yes.
You know what I'm saying? You may not, of course there were Nazis out there. But the thing is, there were also people out there protesting in support of the statue not being taken down. Not all of them were Nazis. You know what I'm saying? So when Trump says there were bad people on both sides, if you think about it, Antifa was there too. You know what I'm saying?
Black Lives
Antifa
Matter.
doesn't come with protesting, huh?
And also Black Lives
Yeah,
Matter.
yeah. Exactly. Black Lives Matter is there. So of course, and knowing who starts the violence first, if you see the history, it's usually Antifa and Black Lives Matter throwing the first punch. In fact, if they weren't even there would be no violence. Nobody would die. It's like, why are these people chasing these people down? You know, why do they always have to show up wherever these people show up and get violent? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you elevating these people? How about if you ignore them, you don't make these people big? But I just feel like Antifa got to come, Black Lives Matter got to come, and now the whole situation will get escalated because they're going to start swinging. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So, yeah, when Trump says there's bad people on both sides, the way the media took it is if he's saying Nazis are good, which is not what he's saying. Like, he said, I condemn white supremacy. I condemn Nazis. When he was talking about the good people, he meant just the people who were there just to protest the statue not being taken down. That's it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I was saying that before. It was like, the whole point was the statue of Robert E. Lee. That was the original point. It wasn't just some type of Klan rally. It was about the statue of Robert E. Lee. And you had regular people, the college kids, people that lived in the town, regular everyday folks that weren't involved with no kind of political group on both sides of that particular question. Should the statue go or should the statue stay? People that came from the outside came in and made all the trouble. But that doesn't mean that that's all who was there.
Yeah, and just the way the police was behaving. But, you just look at the media class and the political class, man. It's like they live in a different world from Americans, man. Everything is just so black and white. You know what I'm saying? There's like no shades of gray, which offers no critical thinking. And this is why platforms like yours and other independent YouTubers are making so much money. It's because people are losing trust in the media. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is so bad, I have to do my own research and wake people up. And the media is, they don't like that. YouTube is getting so ridiculous, and they're clamping down on commentators' speeches. All this censorship is designed to stop you guys. But yeah, it's even in the whole, like this whole Russiagate nonsense. You look at these political pundits, man. Like I said, Trump was not supposed to win. But they think we live in this country where everyone hates Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump is an outsider, they assume that all Americans hate Trump. So when Trump won, they were all blindsided. They're like, I can't believe Americans would vote for him. You know what I'm saying? Because they think that Americans are just these, we just status quo. We are pro big banks, pro war, pro innovation, pro open borders. And then they honestly thought that American people was going to listen to the mainstream media. You know what I'm saying? So, this whole Russiagate is ridiculous. And just one more thing, man. What we should take out this Russiagate is how Americans can see that the CIA, the FBI is corrupt. You got James Clapper, John Brennan, what's the other guy? James Comey. All these FBI people, right? CIA. Going on live TV, Trump is a traitor. Trump is a Russian asset, and they're trying to use their CIA credentials to educate us. But then they turn out to be wrong. So what that should educate the American people is stop. Not everything the CIA and the FBI say is true. A lot of that stuff is political. These people lied us into all these wars that we're fighting, gave us no proof of that. Now they just lied about this Russiagate, zero proof. I mean, it's just like, how is it that people like me and you, who don't have these credentials, we're not privy to all this U.S. intelligence, got this right the first time? You know what I'm saying? How is it that we can see through this, but people like John Brennan, James Clapper, these FBI, CIA heads, I think Joe Scarborough, he used to be the head of the FBI, CIA, something like that. How is it that they're getting this wrong constantly? They're wrong in all these wars, and we're always right. You know what I'm saying? That should really educate the American people that stop listening to the CIA. You know what I'm saying? The whole Russian gate, let's just ignore Donald Trump and the collusion thing. The CIA and the FBI and all these intelligence services saying that Russia interfered, I think that's a lie. I do not believe that. I think all of that is bogus just to put a stake to help promote Trump. You know what I'm saying? And like, they never tell you how. It's just like, because these 7 intelligence services say so, you need to believe it as American.
Yeah.
And you watch Fox News, Sally. This is what angers me about Fox. I was listening to Fox News today. They're just regurgitating that garbage. Even though they exclude Donald Trump, they're just regurgitating, Putin interfering with these elections, and we got to do something about it. It's just like, what are you guys on? Like, come on, man. Like, by regurgitating this garbage, you are delegitimizing Donald Trump's presidency. So yeah, man, that's all I have to say. I just hope that people wake up. These intelligence services are not the gospel truth. They are political, and they lie to get us in all these confrontations. And it's really independent media like yours. It's the only thing that's going to wake the American people up. But yeah, man, that's all I got to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care, man.
You done?
All right, my man Tariq with the fire as always. Thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let me get to the next call here. Okay. American Joe, what's happening?
ABL, how you doing, my friend?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Well, I'm not doing too good right now. As you see, I'm not wearing the MAGA hat tonight. And I'm cautiously moving forward here because, as you probably know, just a few days ago, the bump stock ban went into effect that Donald Trump laid down. And, I've been supporting Donald Trump as our great president now ever since I started my YouTube channel, but long before that. And now we have Donald Trump stepping on my Second Amendment rights, stepping on my Fourth Amendment rights. The Second Amendment says I have the right to bear arms, and that shall not be infringed, shall not be infringed. The Fourth Amendment says I have the right to property, and you don't have the right to seize my property illegally. So what is illegal search and seizure? Illegal seizure is any seizure of my property that goes against what? The law, which is the Constitution, which is the Second Amendment. So Donald Trump is going to run into a big problem if he continues down the path of transgressing the Second Amendment, because a whole lot of patriots are going to support our Second Amendment long after Donald Trump is out of office. The Second Amendment is what's going to hold this whole thing together or tear it apart. And so right now, I'm not happy. Lindsey Graham is trying to put together a red flag law, which had better get in front of the Senate, and the Senate had better vote it down. If it goes in front of Trump's desk, if he signs it, I tell you what, ABL, from my lips to your ears, I'm done. I'm done if he signs any red flag laws, any of them.
So what is a red flag law?
Red flag law is when anyone in your family, someone who's lived with you for the past 12 months, someone who knows you, can turn you into the government and state that you are a danger to yourself or others. And then a hearing will be conducted within 30 days of that report. And if it's found to be truthful in the hearing, they will confiscate your weapons for up to 12 months. All of your weapons, all of your ammunition. You haven't done anything wrong. You've broken no laws. You have not committed any crimes. But under these laws, you could be disarmed as an American, simply because someone says you're a threat to yourself or others. Now, I've been on Earth 47 years, and I can't tell you how many times someone has said something along the lines of, I'm going to kill that SOB. This does not mean someone is going to go on a murder shooting spree. The people that go on murder shooting sprees, we're talking a very tiny percentage of people who actually lawfully own weapons in America. A very, very tiny percentage. So red flag laws are incredibly, incredibly dangerous. And, You could have an angry spouse, an ex-wife, an ex-husband, a boyfriend. It don't matter. There could be a custody dispute. It doesn't matter, man. And Lindsey Graham just had a committee hearing about this on the same day that everybody was talking about Jussie Smollett. And I made a video about that because I thought it was quite interesting that everybody talked about Jussie Smollett. Nobody talked about the Lindsey Graham red flag law hearing. Not a peep in the mainstream news. I went to every website. So I'm not happy about it, man. I love a lot of the things Donald Trump has done, but he's got to stop with the Second Amendment, man. I'm telling you right now.
All right. Now, a couple of things. Have you used bump stocks before?
I have never personally used a bump stock. I've seen them in action. I don't really have a desire to even own a bump stock, but that's not the point of it. The bump stock simply modifies a rate of fire of a weapon. That's all it does. And it's a piece of plastic. And it's personal property. So I'm sorry. And here's what blows my mind about the bump stock. There was one shooting in Vegas where 58 or 59 people were killed by a lunatic using a bump stock. To my knowledge, that's the only time in history the bump stock has been used in a mass shooting. I might be wrong, but it's the only one I'm aware of. And Donald Trump used that one instance to place a ban on personal property all across the country for law-abiding American citizens. And that is unconstitutional, and he does not have that power.
Now, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm going to be the devil's advocate in the situation. Just for the argument's sake. I'm not trying to say that the Second Amendment should be trifled with. I'm just giving you the different point of view in this particular situation. Now, I'm looking at it from his point of view. He's probably thinking like this. Okay, the left wants to go down this whole gun control, gun grab thing. They want to become New Zealand, where they just banned all quote unquote semi-automatic weapons, which is basically any weapon that's not a flintlock pistol that has a magazine of more than 5 rounds. Okay, they banned all those. People like Bernie Sanders are saying, let's do what they did. Let's ban everything. So rather than going down that road, he's like, okay, you guys are saying that this piece of plastic, which from what I've been hearing is a piece of garbage, people are saying that quote unquote modifies a semi-auto into the fully auto. So if you're saying that, let's go ahead and ban that. So then we could stop it right there. If you want to talk about banning just regular guns, rifles, handguns, or whatever, shotguns, we're not going to do that. But you can have this. We'll throw you that bone. So when you're talking about debates coming up in the 2020 election, and also in general, just in everyday conversation, and also in individual states, because different states have different gun laws. You go to California, the laws are much different than in New York, in Virginia, Florida, etc. So for the sake of the national conversation and the state-to-state conversation, let's give them that. So then let's have them stop right there and not try to infringe upon the semi-autos. We're drawing the line. We're going to say no fully autos and no accessories to make a semi-auto into a fully auto. You see where I'm coming from? And then also from the other one, the red flag law. I'm kind of like giving you two things here. The red flag law, I think that it's got to be something done in a situation like the guy that did the Parkland shooting. What he got, it was like 20 times. He got contacted by the FBI, and they were worried about him. Like, they had him, and they knew he was dangerous. So in that situation, what do you do?
Well, I can tell you this. Taking your last question or your last idea first, okay?
Yeah.
There's already plenty of laws and regulations on the books. We are a country of millions of laws, okay? I used to work in a hospital in the emergency room for the patients who came in on suicide watch, okay? And it was my job to watch them and make sure they didn't kill themselves. A lot of these people were put there because a family member reported to the police that they were suicidal. They talked about it, and they threatened it, and they got locked up in a hospital for 3 days. They had to get a psychiatric evaluation by a professional before they could be released to the public. In the meantime, they were watched 24 hours a day. We already have ample rules, regulations, and laws on the books for this situation.
So for the case of the guy that did Parkland, what should the actual law that is on the books have been that did not get followed? Like, or were all the laws already followed?
Well, I don't know the details exactly of Cruz. I think that's who you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
The Cruz guy. I know that there was all kinds of reports made about him. And so I think one of the things we might do is if there's a medical professional who has a relationship with a patient who the doctor, where it's revealed in their one-on-one therapy session that this man is intending on harming somebody, we've got to break down the wall there a little harder and let the professionals be able to report to the police a little bit more. I think there's a lot of legal tape in there that needs to be pulled apart. But what we can't have is a nation where everybody becomes a whistleblower on somebody just because they don't like them.
I agree. I agree with that. It shouldn't just be kind of arbitrary, like, oh, okay, I think he's a danger to himself, come get him. It shouldn't be that. It should definitely be much more to anything like that when you're talking about the police and coming to intervene. But some people, I mean, if you walking around talking about I want to kill everybody, I mean, I don't know, like when the FBI gets involved and they're at your house every day, I think somebody should intervene at that point. But it shouldn't just be arbitrarily like, oh, I want to hurt somebody, or somebody says I want to hurt somebody and then I get my guns taken away. It shouldn't be that simple.
Yeah, and actually you can file an appeal, but you don't even have to be present for the appeal process. They will rule without you being present to get your guns back. So you have to go into court and prove you're not a threat to somebody. You've committed no crimes. This is like the thought police, okay? You're thinking about doing something and they're going to punish you for something that is your right given to us in our Constitution. We all have the right to bear arms. So back to your first point about bump stocks, okay? I'm not the guy, like somebody in your chat room said, I'm not going to die on the hill of bump stocks to defend the Second Amendment and to throw Trump out of my life because he did this a year ago. So I would have done that. I would have thrown him out a year ago if that was the case. But what I'm seeing now is a pattern of really bad legislation coming our way. Like you said, there was a law they tried to pass, and I think, what was it, Virginia? I can't remember the state, where they're trying to limit magazine capacity to 5 rounds. When that came out, I called every gun store in my area, every single one. I said, do you guys even sell weapons that have a 5-round capacity magazine, or do you sell them at all?
Right.
Now, once they sold them because they don't exist.
Don't exist, right.
They said you have to order custom magazines and probably have custom built magazines sent. So they're basically trying to outlaw buying weapons altogether is what they're trying to do. And Dianne Feinstein was at this hearing with Lindsey Graham about the red flag laws, and she laid it all out on the table very openly. The video's on YouTube. She said, it is my hope we can ban all AR-15s from across America. I'm telling you, man, these and Trump might have been throwing them a bone with this bump stock. He might have been tossing them a little scrap off the table.
Yeah.
But you can never appease a Democrat. You can never appease a Democrat. They're always going to come and take everything off the dinner table. You're going to throw them a scrap. Next thing you know, you're going to turn around and there's 20 more Democrats eating everything on the table. That's how they are. You can't work with them. They're never going to work with you. You see the obstructionists they've been when it comes to building the wall that they've wanted for years.
Yeah.
But now that Trump wants it, no go. They're never going to work with him on anything. And he needs to just take a hard stand like he's been doing. But I'm just telling you, man, I love our great president, but I love my country more, and I love my Second Amendment way more. So as long as he doesn't take any more steps and sign any more crazy laws, I'm good. But you cannot keep making declarations about our Second Amendment rights. It's a very dangerous path I'm not willing to go down. That's all I'm saying, my friend.
Well, hey, man, very well said, man. Very well laid out. And I thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you. And before we go, tell everybody how to get to your channel, man. I'm proud of you. You got like, what, 8.5 thousand, man. You blowing up right now.
8.6, but no, 8.8. I'm almost at 8.9.
There we go. All right.
I'm trying to hit 10, man. I'm trying to get to 10. No, man, it's the American Joe Show. And if you guys like to hear me speak about America, about patriotism, about the Second Amendment, about Donald Trump, I'm a big Trump supporter. I don't want to give the wrong impression to your viewers, man. You've heard me talk on my channel and you've seen my videos. I am just right now cautiously moving forward. I'm not charging forward like I was just a few weeks ago. And I want everybody to get out and vote. We got to keep Donald Trump in office for 4 more years as of right now. My opinion might change on that, though. Good night, brother.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Thank you to American Joe Show for the call. Great call. As always, you guys go ahead and subscribe to me if you're not already. 100%. Yeah. I remember American Joe called. At first, he was like just starting, like 50 subscribers or less. And then he just kept growing and growing and growing. He's doing very well. So subscribe to my man, American Joe Show, for sure. But let me get to the next call. 281, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 281. I cannot hear you.
Hear me now, Anthony?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I just had Skype, and I'm trying to figure out my old Razer V2 microphone setup.
Okay.
But I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Houston, and I just want to discuss a few things. One thing political and the other maybe non-political. So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that the Green New Deal didn't go through. It's very amazing because I figured out it's not going to go through because, how can you get rid of cars, cows, and whatever that AOC proposes?
I mean, it was crazy. And then, it was funny how she was on, I guess it might have been a town hall or something, and she doubled down on it and then was talking about, well, I didn't really say it. Well, yes, you did say it. You're saying that you don't want to have cows flatulence. I can't say FART because I get demonetized. Yeah. That's a different story. But anyway, she was talking about changing their diet. It's like, really? You're going to change the way cows emit gas by what they eat? And come on, like, she's going to like revolutionize the way that the grass is so they can emit less carbon. Crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. And here's something non-political. On your gaming channel, what games have you covered so far? Do you do like reviews and I guess computer hardware reviews too, or just only gaming?
Well, the gaming channel is not really active right now because I'm just kind of like real busy. But if I was to get back into it, what I would do is just movies, new games that have come out, PS4, PC, but definitely movies and games, maybe even some TV, depending upon what it is. Like a couple of times I did reviews of the new Roseanne series when it first came out with Roseanne Barr and stuff like that. Stuff that can be culturally related, but also entertainment related. Like I plan on watching the new movie from Jordan Peele called Us, the same guy that did Get Out, and doing a review about that. Because I kind of have an idea about what it's going to be about already. And that can be politically related, but also entertainment related. So that'll go over there on ABL Gaming.
That's cool. Do you have like a i7 or i5 CPU in your gaming system?
I have an i7 3600K, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know what kind of graphics card I have. I think I have R9.
Okay.
Yeah. What else? I got 16 gigs. RAM. What else? I have an SSD, 250 gig SSD, 1 terabyte spinning hard drive, and that's the main things I have. And I have like a mini ITX system, custom built. I don't go to the store and buy any. I just went on Newegg and bought all the parts, put it together. So the rig is nice. I mean, it does well for editing. Like the purpose was to have an editing rig, but then I realized then I could game on it. It's like, okay, it works pretty well. I could pretty much run everything I want. If I can't run it at high, I can run it at medium, and it performs pretty well. I can get 60 on most games, so it's all good.
That's good, yeah, because I got a i5 8600K, and I think gigabyte 1060. 6 gigabyte OC and 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's pretty good. I mean, I played like what's a game called Lockheed Martin Prepared. It's like Flight Simulator.
Okay.
I don't know if you do you play those Flight Simulator?
I've heard about games like that. I heard they're pretty accurate. Matter of fact, it was a guy that I was watching. Have you seen that series on Netflix about that fake concert?
Oh no, I don't have Netflix anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, it was on. I think it was on Hulu as well. It's really popular. It was about Ja Rule and this guy. I forget what it was called, but I'm sure the chat will tell me. It was a concert that didn't go through, and one guy was talking about flying to islands in his plane that he bought. It was a really kind of raggedy plane, and he said that he wasn't even really a super trained pilot. He taught himself on the simulator you're talking about. Fire Festival, that's right. Fire Festival. Thank you to Ian. Fire Festival. That's what it was.
Fire Festival. That's interesting. Yeah, because my game is called Prepared, and it's usually meant for people that are going through flight school, but you can also purchase it for general consumer use. And I have an add-on aircraft by a company called PMDG, which is short for Precision's Manual Distributing Group, which is licensed by Boeing. And their stuff is, just as real to a T, but of course in their manuals it'll say not used for real-world training. But it's pretty real.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, Anthony, thank you for taking my call, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, shout out to the caller. And if anybody wants my official stats from my PC, I'll give it to you right quick before we get to the next call. I have an AMD Radeon R9 380, 4 gigs memory. I think that's probably some virtual memory too. I think it's only like 2 or 3 gigs on board of the graphics card. DDR5 16 gigs of RAM, and I have an i7 6700K at 4 gigs. So that's what that is. It's a pretty decent system. I mean, really the main job is the editing of the video. I can burn through and rendering very quickly, because on my previous computer I had a Mac, and to render a video would take so long. It would really just kind of get in the way of my production, because you're taking like a half hour or an hour to render a video. I can render a video now in like less than 5 minutes, probably like 3 minutes for a 10-minute video. It'd be done like that. And then my internet is so crazy. Like from the time I start a video, edit it, render it, to the time it's up on the site could take me like an hour and a half tops. And most of that time is done recording and editing. But to render is like 3 minutes, and to upload is like 3 more minutes. It's nothing. You just breeze through it. So let me see. Let me get to my next call here. 571, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, good evening, Anthony. This is Richard from Honduras. How are you doing this evening?
Everything is great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Listen, I have an issue with one of the things that American Joe said. He referred to the Second Amendment as being given to us by the Constitution. He is totally wrong. That Constitution says we have been endowed by our Creator of certain unalienable rights. Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the Second Amendment to the Constitution, which was established some years after the Constitution was written, just acknowledges the fact that we have those rights, not granting them to us. Because if the government granted us those rights, they could take them away.
Very good point. Very, very good point.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I've heard this from so many people, especially Jared from Guns and Gadgets. He's a YouTuber, and he has pointed that out on very numerous occasions, that it's not something that the government gave us. And that's why they call the first 10 amendments the Bill of Rights. This was all designed to limit the power of government, give the power to the people. And so I just want to make sure. I put a comment on one of the videos that he produced this past week, and to that effect, but I don't know if he saw it. But if he's watching, I just want to let him know he needs to look into that, about who granted us. We've been endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. So that Second Amendment is part of that.
That's a very good point, because, it's one thing to be granted a thing. It says the government says, okay, you can do this, we give you permission to do this, but it's not like that. It's about these are your rights. They can't be taken away. We can't grant them or remove them. These are your rights, period.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
Absolutely correct. Okay. Next was AOC. I saw that Mike Lee video that you posted a thing of it, and I've seen it a couple of other places. And actually, Mike Lee himself has a video about it. He did the whole thing, I forget, 13, 15 minutes, whatever it was.
Okay.
It was pretty good, pretty funny. He did the one, he had a little section where he had all these cows on one side of the chart and no cows on the other side of the chart. That's a crime. I mean, I like my burgers just like you do. I have never been to a Chick-fil-A, but I've got one near me that's just brand new, so I haven't been there yet. But chicken's not my favorite. The thing of it is that cow flatulence is a renewable resource, a renewable fuel. I know there's lots of places in this country where people scoop up all of the cow pies and put them in this huge plastic bag, maybe several hundred feet long, and they harvest methane gas to help them with the fuel needs on that farm. So that's a renewable resource. It's like biofuel.
That's correct. 100% correct.
Yeah.
And, to somebody that would be a big-time environmentalist, I think that they would be all for renewable fuels. I'm not really sure why not.
Yeah, well, fossil fuels that are mined out of the ground, they say they're not renewable because we have no more dinosaurs to decompose or the prehistoric forests to decompose and create coal and shale oil and so forth. So that's a renewable resource. So I'm not sure where it seems like the argument is one-sided. Or it's not looking deep enough into the pros and cons of the issue. But like you, I want my burgers.
That's right. I gotta have them. Can't live without them. If they took my burgers, we're gonna have a big time problem.
Yes. Okay, so renewable fuels. Okay, the next topic that I wanted to mention was what's her name? Rashida
Tlaib. I'm not really sure how her last name was pronounced.
Okay, I have renamed her. Her name is Rashida Tilapia.
That'll work.
Yeah, but I saw a couple of videos about this some time back. That tilapia, you shouldn't be eating tilapia because that's a farmed fish.
Yes.
Just like farmed salmon or wild caught salmon, it's a farmed species, and it's a freshwater fish. And they keep them in holding ponds or tanks or whatever. And I've heard that you shouldn't eat them because within that pond, the entire population eats the waste from the other fish.
Yes, and that's correct. And they're also feeding them corn because it's a cheap food source. Now, last I checked, I don't think tilapia would just be out in the wild eating corn in the water.
No, they wouldn't. But I envision a tilapia farm being something like a trout hatchery, which I have visited, only on a larger scale.
Yeah, it's basically, I've seen them. It's like a big circular tank, and they're all in there, like hundreds of them in there, jumping up and down, eating corn.
Right.
And it's just, it's not a good environment for, so I've stopped eating tilapia a long time ago. So I saw that, I was like, nah, I'll pass.
Well, I haven't eaten any since I saw it, so I forget how long ago it was. But anyway, those are just 3 points I wanted to mention. I'm glad I was able to catch you before you're finished. Last show, I think it was Wednesday. My phone kept buffering all the time throughout your entire broadcast.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I would get a no connection. Tap to retry, and so I missed a lot of your broadcast. But anyway, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you very much for taking my call. You stay safe and keep on trucking.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you to Richard from Honduras for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let me get to my next call here. 267, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, can you hear me?
Say that one more time for me, please.
Hello? Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So I just want to make like one point with all that's going on with politics and, you know, everybody like, you know, fighting amongst each other with the, you know, conservative and Democrats and everything. One thing I want to do is what people fail to realize that no matter what party you're in, no matter who you support, it all comes down to one thing that most people won't really look at is the Zionists rules basically everything. So even if you're a Democrat, there's a Zionist that's controlling that. Even if you're conservative, there's a Zionist controlling that. Also, if you look historically, I don't know if you know about the.
I got to ask you a question. I have to ask you a question. Now, how do they control it?
They control it through money and what do you call it, lobbyists. But and then before I even get to that, if you even look historically, the Rothschild, if you look at all the wars that we have had, the Rothschild had 5 sons. And
they had what now?
Each of his sons, 5 sons.
Okay.
Okay. So, each one of his sons, they owned banks. And what used to happen, if you even look this up in detail, each one of them owned private banks that used to fund wars. And so, and you understand the history about the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, they were all Zionists too. So they used to fund wars amongst nations to fight amongst each other. What would happen was, you know, depending on that nation, if they were either, you know, for the Zionist movement or against the Zionist movement, they would drop in or increase their rates. They would intentionally, instigate wars against nations.
So, like, okay, so my question would be, where are these wars being fought to begin with? Because let's talk about the Civil War. The Civil War, was that because the Zionists wanted the war to be fought, or was it because the war had to be fought? How about, you know, the War 1812, World War II, World War I, Vietnam War?
Yeah, all those. That's like especially World War II.
No, but okay, but wait. The question. Hold on, caller. Hold on. The question I'm asking you is, what started the war? Is it the Zionists, or was it because there were actual problems in the region that had to get resolved with the war?
It was actually the Zionists, and I would give you examples.
So did the Zionists bomb Pearl Harbor? I'm just trying to figure out because.
But let me explain. Okay, let me explain.
But wait a minute. We kind of dealing with limited time, so I got to ask questions. Did the Zionists bomb Pearl Harbor?
They instigated the situation.
Did they bomb it though?
And how they
who bombed it, and why did they bomb it?
They didn't exactly bomb Pearl Harbor, but what I'm trying to tell you, like the Nazi Party, they were the ones who funded the Nazi Party in the first place. If you look at the history, how Hitler even rise up, how he was even able to get in power, it was actually the Zionists, the elites, not the average Jewish people, the elites, the Zionists were actually funding these group of people intentionally, because the whole point of if you even look at historically, if they wanted Israel like 100, 200 years before, you know. So
the Zionists funded the Nazis who killed Jews.
Right. Yeah. You can look this up. I'm telling you.
So the Zionists killed their own people.
Yes, exactly my point.
Why?
That's exactly my point.
Why did they kill their own people?
Yes.
But why?
I swear to God, go look.
I understand you saying I get that part, but my question is why did they do that?
Because they wanted to take the land Israel. They've been planning to take Israel for the longest time. It's been thought out for like 100, 200 years before World War II even happened. There are many events that have happened. I can even send you information regarding this if you like give me your email.
So how about let's go back to Pearl Harbor. Mm-hmm. So we know that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. So why did they bomb it if the Zionists were behind all of this? Were they also in Japan?
I'm sorry?
So we know the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and that's what kicked off the war there. So why did the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor? Were the Zionists in Japan?
With that particular situation, that had nothing to do with that.
There we go.
But
so they're not so they're not behind all wars then, right?
They're behind most of it. And
Okay.
here's the thing. I swear to my God, if you go and research most of this thing, and here's the thing, sometimes a lot of networks or like media outtakes, they are also, held and ran by Zionists. And so sometimes I'm careful with, like, I don't care if this Fox News or CNN, in the end of the road, if you look behind, behind all these companies, everybody knows that, the Jews, they run all the media. And so whatever they put out there in society, you need to understand that it's them who's actually running it. And it's them who's actually instigating base war. It's them who's actually causing a lot of degeneracy.
I got you, caller, but I need to get to some more calls. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right now. Okay. Man, ain't no Zionists doing that. Come on. Like, one thing I don't like is when people give people too much credit. Wars happen all over the world, not because of some Zionists, because of one group. It's because of a lot of different reasons. I mean, did the Zionists shoot my man? Who was that? The Archduke or whoever that was Gavallo Princip? Was that a Zionist? I mean, come on, man. Like, let's stop this stuff, man, for real. Let's stop all this, let's just call stuff how it actually happened, man. Ain't no Zionists behind none of this. All right, let me get to my next call. Y'all got me triggered. 470, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony, how you doing?
I'm all right. How about you?
I'm good, Anthony. You knew I was calling you today, Anthony. I didn't get to talk to you Wednesday and your Wednesday show, but I'm here, Anthony.
Okay. Glad to have you.
I'm glad you is. So, I guess you kind of upset because Jesse walked, Anthony.
I mean, hey, it'd be all right because it ain't done yet. He still has to go to the federal case.
Whatever, Anthony. He ain't going no jail, Anthony.
It don't matter because we all know what he did, and even the black community not really backing him. People on Empire don't want him to be there anymore either.
Well, he always gonna be accepted in the community, Anthony. So whatever, Anthony. He can come to Atlanta and he's gonna be treated like he is right at home anyway, Anthony.
So y'all don't care that he lied to everybody?
I don't, Anthony.
So you admit that he did
whenever
lie?
he wants to.
So you admit that he did lie? You're not trying to say you didn't lie, right?
Anthony, we all lie. Okay, Anthony.
Okay, all right.
Where your MAGA hat at, Anthony?
I'm not wearing it right now. I have on a different hat.
Why you got that one on?
This is my hat.
Why you can wear the other hat, Anthony?
I made this hat. This is my hat.
Oh, okay. Your hat. I ain't gonna be mad at you.
There you go.
Well, And what was that you was talking about earlier about cousin Angie?
Cousin who?
Cousin Angie talking about when she said we need to take the men's off Mount Rushmore.
You talking about Kamala Harris? Is that what you're talking about?
No, you said cousin Angie, Anthony. You know who I'm talking about.
You're talking about Big Mama in Atlanta.
What is Anthony? You just trying to make up stuff now.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, either way, people talking about taking people off of the statues and taking statues away, putting them in the museum, taking Mount Rushmore down, all that good stuff. I mean, there's no reason to do that. They're just trying to hide history for no real reason.
When good history, it got to be taken down, Anthony. I don't want no cool KKK man standing up in the park when I'm trying to eat me a hot dog and pee my paw, Anthony. What's wrong with you?
Hey, look, it ain't bothering you. It's an inanimate object. It ain't doing nothing to you.
Well, Anthony, I have to sit there while I'm trying to eat my Polish sausage, and then I have to look up at this man. But anywho, what you think about this Mueller report, Anthony, that came out?
It ain't out yet all the way. I think it'll come out sometime in April. It'll be redacted, but it'll mostly come out. But from what I saw so far, it looks pretty good. There's no collusion, no corruption, none of that type of stuff going on. So I'm happy with what I see so far.
Well, what the Attorney General put out, it was enough for me to get my taste on. I just said, I think your man, the orange man, is going down, Anthony.
It ain't going to happen. It ain't no evidence in there about no collusion, no corruption, no nothing. So we good to go. We in the clear.
We did some obstruction.
Nope. No evidence of obstruction in the report at all. None. Zero. Zilch.
Well, Anthony, he did something. And did you see Beto today, Anthony?
Who?
Beto.
Oh, Beto.
He formally announced his campaign, Anthony.
Beto is not going to have a good chance. He already trying to apologize for being a white male. That's not going to go too well for him.
Whatever, Anthony. He going to be the next Obama, Anthony. We're going to call him vanilla chocolate, Anthony.
I mean, we'll see about that. I don't think that y'all want a white male in office anymore on the Democratic side of things.
Well, I kind of think of him as cookies and cream, so he could be black.
He Irish. He's Irish though. He's not even no kind of way black at all. He's Irish.
Whatever, Anthony. Keep black to me. He's my little Obama.
All right.
And wait, what's up with you and the Brexit friends?
What about them?
When you gonna have the Brexit friends on, Anthony?
I don't know. Everybody's busy. I'm gonna try to get them on as soon as I can, but everybody's busy.
Is Nippin part of the Brexit friends?
Nah, Nippin is just a good person that calls in. He's not part of the Brexit crew.
No, I thought he was part of the Brexit friends over there in Britain because they trying to Brexit too, ain't it, Anthony?
No, they're trying to Brexit. They're trying to leave the European Union over there in Britain. That's different.
You know, sound the same, but I went to public school, so it's about friends. I don't know. But anywho, but when you have your Brexit friends, make sure you have my favorite person on there, Anthony. You know who I want to see, Anthony.
I don't know who you're referring to.
Yes, you do, Anthony. You know who I want to see, Anthony.
No clue, none at all. You gotta tell the crowd.
Say his name, Anthony.
I think I'll pass on that. Thank you.
Say his name, Anthony.
I don't know what you're talking about. You gotta say it.
You know exactly who I'm talking about, Anthony. It's Amazing Lucas. Ooh, Anthony, I just don't know what to do.
Okay, look, family show. You gotta calm yourself down now. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to pull myself back together. But anywho, Anthony, it's Saturday, so I'm finna head down to Midtown.
All right, so
No, I'm finna go to the Bulldogs. We finna have us another rainbow party. You should come one day when you're on your way to Richmond, and
I'll pass. Thank you. I'll pass.
you gonna pass.
I'll pass on that. I'm good. Thank you though.
Whatever, Anthony. All right, Anthony, I'm finna go. I gotta go make Atlanta gay again, okay, Anthony?
All right, now take care.
Oh, one more thing, Anthony.
What's up?
Tell Kevin with that nice shiny bald head I said hi.
Oh, okay. All right. Have a
Bye,
good day.
Anthony.
All right now. All right. That caller, I'm still trying to figure out who that is. So anybody that has not heard that person before, that's like a repeat troll caller that just calls in and talk about political politics from their own weird perspective. I don't know who that is, though. I think I know that person, but the voice is being disguised, so I really don't know. We thought it was Miz and Lucas, but it's not him. It's not him, so I don't know who that is. But I think that it's somebody that I know who's not telling me who they are, just trying to play games. It's not Terrence. I don't think it's Terrence. It could be anybody, quite honestly. Oh, yeah, definitely a troll. Ain't no question. That's definitely a troll caller. It's not Brandon. Come on. Somebody say Justin Smollett. That's hilarious. All right. And shout out to Super Chatters right quick before I get to my next call. Thank you to MJE who says, keep up the good work. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Definitely appreciate you. And thank you to Trucker My Ad who says, Joe's right. Red flag gun bill is illegal searches. All righty. I'm dealing with a limited amount of time here, so I'm going to try to get to these calls as soon as I can. Okay. 702, you're on the line. What speaker to?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Mark.
All right, Mark, what's happening?
Oh, nothing much. I'm just grateful none of the ladies in my family are around Joe Biden right now.
Oh, really, right? I mean, you're not trying to get, nobody in your family groped and your hair sniffed and all this, that, and the third. I mean, this guy's a creep.
Yeah, hair snipped, and that poor gal, Lucy Flores, I'm sure he was filling up all her Latina curves.
That's crazy. And you know what? It's funny how the media is being silent about this. I mean, you got a Latina, woman of color talking about sexual harassment. That should be front page news. But I guess Joe Biden is a golden goose right now, so they don't want to, mess that up.
I know. I literally feel like I'm on the Lolita Express when I see footage of Joe Biden and women.
Yeah, really, right? I mean, good grief. That's probably how it is on that boat. He might just be doing his actual, daily routines over there in public, just not even really caring about what people think.
Yeah. Somebody needs to take some of that video footage and play some of that like bow chicka wow music in the background while he's like touching on all these girls,
That's right.
Yeah, and I saw that Trump cut aid to Central America, and I think the corruption, the money's not getting to the people. If they keep invading up here, there's certainly no reason to keep them funded. The money's not going to keep them down there. You know what I mean? It's like I dig Central America, I dig South America, but these caravans are out of control. And I'm actually worried about food shortages as the people continue to come in here. I just, and Walmart's closing and things like that. I just don't see the infrastructure in place for all these people.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point.
Yeah, and have you ever heard of some rapper named Lil Nas X?
That name sounds familiar due to a news story recently, but I don't know who that is, though.
Oh, okay. I guess he had some kind of like rap song, and it went on the country chart, and it caused outcry, and he got kicked off the country chart. But when I heard the song, I don't know how it ever charted in the first place.
Now, was it country sounding? I mean, like, how did it? Like, is there any inclination about how it got to the country chart to begin with?
Yeah, I guess it says I got horses in the back, and it might sample like a track of a banjo. I really don't know. I couldn't take more than about 30 seconds of it, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Nah, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't listen to that much hip hop. I used to really, really love it, but I fell off like a long time ago. but I heard there's a couple of lyrics from like Jay-Z and then one by Drake, and I guess there's one by Jay-Z who says something like, I got 5 passports, so I'm never going to jail. And I guess Drake raps something about how we stole the Russian crown jewels and, oh, we'll steal them again and stuff like that. That sounds like some deep state ghostwriting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it makes me wonder who they're rapping for. It's like how would a population complain about poverty if they have 5 passports and have the Russian crown jewels? I mean, I wonder who their audience is. Do you think it's like the urban youth?
No, because when you go to these concerts with Jay-Z, you're not going to see the urban youth there. You're going to see a bunch of hipster type white guys in the audience. That's what you're going to see.
Hipster type white guys, exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I don't know if you know who Steve Pachenik is. He's been on Alex Jones a couple of times. He supposedly said that Rahm Emanuel was triggered hard and had major beef because George Soros floated $400,000 to that Fox lady in order to drop all charges going around Rahm Emanuel's Justice Department and their investigation. So he went right to the source and had the charges dropped. And according to Steve Pachenik, he thinks that Rahm Emanuel has a grudge and wants revenge, and that's why he was popping off at the mouth.
Well, I don't know about him wanting revenge, but the money was given to her in 2016 when she was running. Like Soros put her in office, basically. He contributed to her campaign after she won the primary, and then he gave her money afterwards. But most of the money was given before she actually won. But Emmanuel, I'm not sure what his angle is. I think that he's just putting on a show. It's just theatrics at this point. I think that's pretty much what this whole thing is about. You got open corruption and also theatrics trying to be out like they outraged about the corruption. They're all in it together, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. It's hard for me to get into that topic because I heard some of your other callers mention that they had never heard, they didn't really know who Rahm Emanuel was, and they thought he was a reasonable guy. And then I heard Tariq's excellent call referring to Clapper, Comey, and Brennan flagrantly lying about Russian collusion. And it makes you wonder where all the money to the FBI and all the money goes to the Pentagon. They can't even militarize the border, and they get trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars, and they can't even do one job right. And now all 3 of them are caught in a major lie. And then when I hear that caller talk about Rahm Emanuel, did you know that Rahm Emanuel's brother, Ari Emanuel, is the biggest agent in Hollywood?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that show Entourage, I've never watched it. It's on HBO. It's supposedly based on his brother's life, and he has another brother named Ezekiel Emanuel who was behind Obamacare, who's a bioethicist and who was going to be in charge of all like the insurance money and the Obamacare thing. So it's like you have these 3 brothers, one in government, one in healthcare, and one in entertainment at the top of each field. They must have really worked hard, huh?
No, I think there's some appointing going on.
Perhaps. I only have 2 more things. Also, when they talk about Russian collusion, if they want to talk about Ukrainian collusion or Chinese collusion, Biden colluded with both of them in order to make his son a billionaire after one meeting. So you already have collusion there, but they're not going to get into that. But as for the last thing I'm going to leave you with is this, people wonder about war profiteers, war funding, and war bombings and things like that. But do you know who bombed the King David Hotel?
No.
Okay, I guess there was a bombing of the King David Hotel. That was 1946. And I guess it was Rahm Emanuel's daddy was a bomber.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it'd be wild if like Timothy McVeigh or Brenton Tarrant was your daddy, huh?
It would be, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, man, shout out to your appearance on RT. You're really sharp. I saw you mingling with who's that guy? That Swan. What's his name? Ben Swan.
Yes, Ben Swan.
That dude. Yeah, that dude seems really slick and intelligent, and to see you on the panel with him holding your own did just fine against that Newsmax guy. And I don't know, Newsmax, Breitbart, who else? Instapundit. It's weird how all these places, they start off conservative and then they just end up middle of the road and centrist and moderate.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that goes. It just kind of creep on over, and then next thing you know, it's like, what happened to your coverage? What your slant has gone in a total different direction.
Yeah, but I like how you keep your composure real smooth. I could never do what you do. I would have Tourette's. I would just lash out on some of these dudes. So anyway, good for you. I hope you stay that way, and have a great show. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, thank you to Mark for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And I'm running overtime a little bit because I got a couple more callers on because you guys have been waiting for a long time. I'll try to get you on. Nippin, what's happening, boss?
Not much. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
I'm pretty sure you probably saw the thing someone just sent to you. The super chat.
Oh yeah, somebody said my man. Shout out to Zedoch's King Swore, who says, "Please stay on for Nippin Sharma. Love you, ABL." So you got some people that want you, man. I see.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, take off your mask, caller. We know your tree of logic.
Nah, that ain't her. Cause she not even. She wouldn't be calling at all because she didn't want to do with me at all. So that wouldn't be her.
It's probably I have a feeling it's Candace Owens.
Nah. Candace is too busy. That's her thing. So she can't even really be here on a Saturday. She's too busy. She don't have no time.
It can't be Brandon. It's not Lucas. Are you sure you're not trolling yourself?
I wish I was that good, but I can't be trying to, do on the fly calls and at the same time I'm on the air.
So yeah, democracy is officially down the toilet.
Now you're talking about Brexit over there?
Brexit. It's been blocked.
So okay, now I'm confused because last time I spoke to you, it had just been delayed. Now has it been blocked totally? Like they're not going to be able to do it at all?
It's being delayed. Yeah, we were meant to leave tonight.
Right, but it's no movement. I see.
Yeah, I didn't attend, but a bunch of Brexiteers decided to protest in Parliament Square, only to be turned away.
Oh wow! So what happened? Did the police come out there and make them leave?
I think so. I think that's what they did.
Oh.
Yeah, that's democracy gone. Brexit is officially. You can say it's over, basically, because they'll just keep delaying it and delaying it and delaying it.
Right.
And then there was this talk about Charlottesville through your other callers. Now, what of it?
I'm not really sure what they were talking about. I can't really remember it right now. I think we were talking about how there were good people on both sides. That was Tariq. He was saying how the media wants to misrepresent what Trump was talking about when he said there are good people on both sides, because there were. The media wants to say that the sides were the Klan versus the anti-Klan, but that wasn't the case. The sides were people that were for the statue of Robert E. Lee being up and those that were against it. And on both sides, you had regular people that were not involved in any kind of political party at all, that were not radical, that were not extremists.
Like centrists.
Centrists, regular, everyday people, normies. But on both sides, you had the radical, extremists, people that came for violence. That's what Trump was talking about. But the media wanted to focus on just it being the Klan versus non-Klan. That wasn't even what it was about.
But yeah, the media just tried to portray Donald Trump as this sort of radical, which he isn't.
That's right.
It's just character assassination.
Correct.
And then, I forgot what the thing was. Yeah, I'm surprised that. There's nothing else to say to it. BLM is a terrorist organization.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, yeah, Brexit is down the toilet. And apparently this, what's his name? He had a beard and he looked like the Robertsons.
I don't know what you're talking about. You talking about the caller?
Yeah, he had a beard and
You're talking about American
Joe. American Joe. Yeah. Yeah, he said something about Trump trying to take away our Second. Sorry, not our, because I live in the UK. Your Second Amendment.
Well, no, it was about the bump stock ban.
The what?
Bump stock.
What's the bump stock?
It's kind of a long story, Nippin, but basically what it is, it's a accessory. It's a plastic accessory that goes on the back of a rifle that can assist the gun firing more rapidly.
Oh.
Some say that it causes the gun to be transformed into a fully automatic. That's not necessarily true, but it could kind of resemble fully auto fire.
Okay. So yeah, now creepy Uncle Joe is at it again.
Yeah, he's trying to become the president, and a woman came out and said that he sexually harassed her.
Like how? Did he grope her? Did he do something inappropriate?
What she said was that it was during an event, and she was ready to go speak on stage, and then he was right behind her, sniffing her hair, and then he was touching her shoulders, and then kissed her in the back of the head before she went on stage.
Yeah, you see, he gets away with it, and he is actually a sexual predator. Now, I don't know if you remember. Like back in October, I got done by the police for sexual harassment, even though I never groped. I got done for groping.
Right.
Basically. Even though my arm was just around her waist.
Right.
It wasn't. The main point is, I didn't grope her. But then she decided to go all radical, get management. And they had to, and then like the security had to interrogate me.
But see,
into lying because they wouldn't take anything else for an answer.
Here's my question though: if you were in the shoes of, if you were, would you go do what Joe Biden did, which is like sniff a girl's hair and then kiss her on the head?
Absolutely not.
Right. What you did was innocent. You just arm around the waist or something like that. Like I don't even do the waist anymore because I don't want nobody to think that I'm doing something else. Even though the waist is pretty innocent, that's kind of the regular picture. I always do the shoulder up, so nobody can say that I'm doing anything wrong.
Of course. Now apparently, cosplay. Now you can't even go in cosplay without being done for sexual harassment, which I didn't even do.
Right.
Yeah. And the new Green Deal dragged by Mike Lee. I saw that. He owned the Senate floor on that day.
Yeah, he did. That was excellent. Very good. Very well done.
I have a funny feeling if Joe Biden is the nominee, he's going to choose Bernie Sanders as his running mate.
Two old white men. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah. No. Wait, two old white men is not gonna work. But what's happening right now? They're both old. They're both white. Donald Trump and Mike Pence.
Well, Pence not that old. Pence is like in the 60s. But the thing is, it's okay if you're on the right because we don't really care about your race. But the left, they worry about race. They're all about identity. They don't like white men. They're totally anti-white males. So if you have two white men and they're old on top of that, how are they gonna, and the thing about it is Trump is old, but he's not as old as those guys. Trump is 72 and Biden is 76. Bernie is 77. That's a big time age difference if you're trying to become the president.
If I'm wrong, but the Democrats are the huge time racists. Even today.
Yeah.
But even back in the old days, nowadays it's anti-white. Back then it was full-on Jim Crow segregation.
Yeah.
Who was it? Which president was it that implied the Jim Crow laws? It was Woodrow Wilson, a lifelong Democrat.
Yeah.
Who was it that imposed, who made Jim Crow a state law in Mississippi? Theodore Bilbo, another Democrat.
Pretty much.
Yep, and both, Nixon receives a lot of stick for Watergate and, all this thing. But what he's not, what he's not remembered for is what he did for the for the black community.
That's right. I mean, that could be a topic on its own right there, but I'm over time right now, actually, so I got to go ahead and wrap it up right now, Nippin.
Yeah, it was nice catching up with you, ABL.
Thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace. All right, that will be a wrap. I'm over my time right now. I know I like being punctual. I'm sorry to the caller that's on the line right now. I got 2 on the line. I'm sorry, but I got to go. Y'all know I like being very punctual and on time, out on time. I did a little bit over, and thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank you to the last super chatters. We got Will Redding, who says, cheers to the OT. Another great show on callers. Love y'all. Have a beautiful and blessed night. Thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate you. Raymond Hinchhold says, what be up with that douche McCain for voting against Obamacare ending? He's a millionaire who can afford any health care, but he wants Obamacare to stay. Well, McCain's passed away now. I could go to his gravesite and ask him why he did that, but we all know what's going on with that. But thank you for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. And thank y'all for being here. If you've not looked at the store lately, the ABL gear store, I'm going to show that right quick. I'll do that at the end of the stream. Let's check it out. We got the MAGA hats. Well, these ain't MAGA hats. These are my own hats that I created. I made that right there. This is going to be how one of my flags look. Okay, I got some new flags coming. One of my flags will resemble this right here. It won't be the exact same, but once you see it, you'll see it. So that's exclusive information right here that I've not really revealed anywhere else. So here's the hat right on my store. This is the black version and the regular snapback. As you can see, it has the back that's not vented. This is a vented back, obviously. This is a trucker hat. So the regular snapback is available in black only. And if you go to the trucker hat, which is what I have here, you have that in black with the vented back and also in red. So that's what I got on my head. You see the red right here on the screen is like not as red, but this is fire truck red right here. It's a beautiful red, white, and blue, real patriotic. You can go to a barbecue and ball out, be the freshest guy on the grill. And it is about $24, and the snapback is like $26 for the snapback for the regular one. But this half of my head right here is around the store. And you got a bunch of different shirts, the MAGA Stars, the ABL, We Was Burger Kings, and the ABL shirt. If you click on that, it has mugs, t-shirts, all that good stuff. And what I'm going to do probably every month is come out with new shirts, new designs. And if there's some kind of event that happens that's pretty big and popular, I'll probably create a shirt that coincides with it. I've designed all these shirts. These are all something that I put in Photoshop and I did. The Trump Pinch 20. You may have seen these in different places, but I made all of them to put on the store, you know, and definitely you got some original ones that I made, and I have more original ones as well. So I think that'll be a wrap for today's show. Thank y'all for joining. Definitely appreciate you. As always, y'all are the best audience on YouTube. And shout out to the moderators right quick before I go ahead and close on out for the night. You got Zero Cool, Zealand Zen, Liza Jean, Nick Taylor, Shreves, Lucia Milo, Pia Reeves, Adina Jones, Omar Adams, Mark Anthony, Michelle A, Cynthia Webb, Catherine K, and Sel. Bill from the Hills by Pie, Sushi, Dan Larkin, Friends, Isaac, aka Protocol, T-Pain, and Hip Hop Independent. Thank you for what you do at the time. Definitely appreciate you. I will see y'all again next time on Wednesday for our live show. I may do O'Shea show tomorrow for those of y'all to watch that. And I think the Patreon podcast will come out this week or next week. I may do that bi-weekly because I'm just so busy. I don't want to, keep missing, but I'm going to try to get them out as soon as I can. And what else I got? That's pretty much it. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can email me at contact@anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B. Don't get triggered by this, LOGAN.com. And that's pretty much it. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace. And thank you to Edosa Hey, Weka, for your donation. Definitely appreciate you for the last minute one in euros. Definitely appreciate you. I'm out. Peace.